The words you speak to yourself become the seeds of your future. They grow roots in the unseen and blossom in the visible. And I say unto you now, child of the infinite, your voice, your words, your declarations, they carry the power of life and substance. Your spoken word is your wand. Speak it with faith. Speak it with certainty, and it shall not return void. For just 3 days I ask you to speak to yourself differently. Not with fear, not with lack, not with limitation, but with divine authority. Talk to yourself as one who walks with God, as one who is backed by the wealth of heaven. Every time the shadow of doubt creeps in, cast it out with a stronger word of truth. Every time you are tempted to say, I can't afford this, say instead, God is my instant and everlasting supply, and all my needs are met now. You do not beg for abundance, you command it with the vibration of belief. You do not chase money, you magnetize it with your faith-filled declarations. For 3 days, do not speak of what is missing. Speak only of what is manifesting. Say to yourself, my bank account is increasing daily, in expected and unexpected ways. Money flows to me freely, frequently, and from multiple sources. Say it not as a hope, but as a law already fulfilled. When you say, I am a child of the King, the universe must respond. When you declare, riches are drawn to me with divine ease, the floodgates must open. For the law of prosperity is a law of vibration, and your words are the code that unlocks the doors. If you will talk to yourself like this for 3 days, just 3, you will activate a power so strong, so magnetic, that even your bank account must obey. Your words are currency. Speak as though you're already wealthy, and wealth will obey. The outer is ruled by the inner. Change your inner conversation, and you change your outer condition. So I invite you, speak aloud the language of abundance. Declare your inheritance. Call forth divine supply. Do not wait for proof. Your faith is the proof. The word is the bridge. And the word, when spoken with conviction, moves mountains, parts seas, and fills empty accounts. For 3 days, talk to yourself as the rich soul that you are, and watch. Watch what happens to your money. Watch what happens to your spirit. Watch what heaven does when your voice becomes a command and not a complaint. It is done unto you as you believe, and you believe through what you speak. Speak, believe, receive, and watch what happens. I do not chase money. I magnetize it. I release the energy of pursuit and enter the stillness of trust. I do not scramble or grasp or worry, I align. I align my thoughts, my words, and my feelings with the vibration of having, not wanting. For in the spiritual realm, wanting only signals lack, but having is the sacred key. So I claim what is mine. I declare that money loves to find me, that prosperity circles back to me like breath returning to the lungs. I am a divine magnet for wealth, not by effort but by essence. I do not need to strain, I need only to speak. I walk as if every step is on to gold. I sit as if royalty resides within me. I rise each morning and whisper to myself, abundance knows my name. I do not ask the world to validate it. I know it because I have spoken it, and what I speak with conviction must materialize. My spoken word is not idle chatter, it is divine decree. The words I say are not floating dust, they are creative force. When I affirm truth, I activate law. When I declare my wealth, I awaken the stream of supply that is already mine. And I do so gently, but with unshakable power. The universe is not confused. It waits for my clarity. It listens not to my hopes, but to my commands. I do not beg the heavens, I partner with them. I do not plead with God. I agree with God. And when I agree with the infinite, mountains move and money flows. My words are not random. They are sacred instruments of change. Each sentence I speak becomes a seed. And just as surely as the soil answers the seed with fruit, the universe answers my voice with substance. I speak to the invisible and it responds in form. I do not wait to see before I believe, and then I see. I say what I desire as though it already exists. I say it out loud. I say it in love. I say it in rhythm. And the law is bound to obey. I do not speak of lack, for lack is not my portion. I speak of overflow, for overflow is my inheritance. I call money to me, not with fear but with faith, not with pressure but with praise. And so I remind myself again and again, my words are orders to the universe, and the universe obeys. My voice is an echo of divine authority. I do not speak timidly, I speak from the throne within me. When I say, I receive, heaven begins to arrange. When I say, it is mine, doors begin to open. When I say, I am wealthy, the currents of life bring every resource into harmony with that truth. My word is law. My faith is currency. My belief is magnetism. And my voice is the sacred vessel through which all abundance is delivered. So I continue to speak, to affirm, to declare not because I am trying to convince the universe, but because I am aligning with the truth I already know. I affirm, I am one with the substance of God, and the substance of God is endless supply. And as I flow into this truth, I flow into the next wave of manifestation, already forming, already rising, already ready to be received. I am one with the substance of God, and the substance of God is endless supply. There is no beginning and no end to the source that feeds me. I do not earn it, I inherit it. I do not chase it, I allow it. For I am made of the same divine fabric that created galaxies, and in this fabric there is no lack, only fullness, only plenty, only radiant sufficiency. As I stand in the truth of who I am, I realize that I do not need to force prosperity to come to me. It is already within me, waiting to be spoken into visibility. I am not separate from wealth. I am made of it. I am not hoping for supply. I am immersed in it. There is no place I go where the presence of abundance is not with me. I carry it in my voice, in my breath, in my spirit. The divine cannot abandon itself, and I am divine. I am an expression of God's infinite wealth. I do not compare my life to others. I do not measure my worth by numbers. I speak what is true in the realm of spirit, and that truth bends the material world to its image. I no longer see a difference between the spiritual and the material. All is one. All is God. All is supply in different forms. When I walk in this knowing, miracles become natural. I do not panic over bills, I speak to them. I bless them and affirm they are already paid. I do not tremble at the sight of my account, I talk to it. I say, you are growing now. You are multiplying now. You are the evidence of my inner wealth. I treat money as sacred energy, and I command it as a faithful servant. It obeys my tone. It listens to the way I speak of it. I talk to money as I would talk to a dear friend, not with fear, not with resentment, but with warmth and welcome. When I say, unexpected income is always finding me, I am richly supplied, I open the way. I open the way for phone calls, for gifts, for refunds, for deposits, for surprises that feel like divine kisses. I do not need to figure out how. I do not need to know who. I speak the what, and heaven orchestrates the rest. When I declare that I am richly supplied, I activate spiritual law, and the law never forgets what I have spoken. The moment I affirm it, the chain reaction begins. I am no longer bound by the evidence of the outer world. I walk by inner sight. I speak from inner truth. I do not declare. I do not doubt, I affirm. I do not expand. And the more I affirm my wealth, the more I become a channel wide enough to receive it. The more I expect the unexpected, the more it flows in. I do not just believe in miracles, I expect them daily. I expect money to find me, love to support me, favor to surround me. This is not imagination, it is law. It is principle. And I am the vessel through which this law is activated. I now release every fearful word I have ever spoken about money. I forgive myself for every complaint, every worry, every limit, and I begin anew. I now talk to myself, to money, to life with divine power. I speak the vibration of overflow. I expect miracles, and I allow unexpected income to surprise me with joy. Unexpected income is always finding me. I am richly supplied. I am constantly surrounded by divine opportunities wrapped in ordinary moments. I do not need to understand the details, I trust the design. I do not look for the blessing with anxious eyes, I let it arrive with grace. For the supply that belongs to me does not miss me. It is encoded into my vibration, summoned by my faith, drawn to me by my expectancy. I say it daily, with peace in my heart. Unexpected money is always making its way to me. I say it not to get something, but because it is already so. I speak it as fact. I declare it as truth. And heaven responds. Each word I speak becomes an invisible doorway. My declarations are not idle, they are activators. When I say I am richly supplied, I am opening the gate to provision that was always mine. I am stepping into alignment with the source that never runs dry. I am no longer asking life to give to me, I am agreeing that it already has. My speech is no longer filled with confusion, contradiction, or contradiction. My speech is clear, certain, and creative, and with every sacred phrase I affirm, the universe arranges itself to match. I release my grip on how the income will appear. That is not mine to figure out. The how is handled by divine intelligence, and divine intelligence never fails. My only work is to speak in faith, act in alignment, and receive with gladness. I no longer tie blessings to effort alone, I now allow room for grace. I no longer measure money by logic alone, I invite the supernatural. I know that life holds more ways to bless me than I could ever plan for. So I open my arms wide and declare, I am ready for surprises. I am ready for ease. I am ready for joy. I see money as a river, not a wall. It flows, it curves, it rushes in response to the channels I open with my thoughts and my tone. The moment I say, I am a receiver of divine compensation, the floodgates begin to respond. The moment I stop resisting and start expecting, the increase begins to manifest. I now live in a state of daily expectation, not of problems, but of blessings. I wake each morning and ask, how will money find me today? I look for signs. I stay in gratitude. I bless what I have, and I affirm that more is on the way. It is not my job to predict the path. It is my job to speak the truth and rest in it. I now declare with sacred confidence, it is not my job to figure out the how. I speak the what, and God delivers. I am not the supplier, I am the receiver. I do not carry the burden, I carry the faith. My words are not requests, they are permissions. When I say I receive, I give heaven permission to pour out its storehouses. When I say, "It is done," I close the gap between my desire and its fulfillment. I no longer try to control the journey, I trust the wisdom that guides it. I speak, I align, I believe, and the divine delivers. It is not my job to figure out the how. I speak the what, and God delivers. I trust this spiritual law as I trust the sunrise certain, unshaken, and unfolding in perfect time. I no longer carry the weight of strategy or strain. I do not wrestle with logic or stress over the mechanics of manifestation. My role is clear: to declare, to believe, and to receive. The moment I speak my desire, I release it into the divine machinery of the universe, which knows how to bring it to pass in ways far beyond my comprehension. I do not lean on my own understanding. I rest in divine intelligence. The substance of supply is already in motion. The money, the favor, the open doors, they are already forming, moving, arranging themselves in response to the sound of my voice. I need not labor over possibilities. I need not construct the bridge. The bridge is already being built beneath my feet as I walk. I speak my truth and keep walking. I say what I desire and move in joy. I release the outcome from my hands and entrust it to divine law, which never forgets, never delays, never errs. I now bless the process even when I cannot see progress. I speak life over silence. I speak abundance in the waiting. I say, "Thank you, Father, that it is already done," before it arrives. For I know that behind every quiet moment is an orchestration of miracles. I know that heaven is never late, and my good is never lost. I trust the invisible. I honor the unseen. And with every breath, I remain aligned with the vibration of already having. Because I speak the what with confidence, I no longer fear spending. I no longer worry about money going out. I know it is all part of the divine cycle. When I give, it is multiplied. When I spend, it is blessed. I speak blessings over every dollar that leaves my hand, knowing it returns to me pressed down, shaken together, and running over. I say it with reverence. Every dollar I spend returns to me multiplied. Money blesses me as it goes and grows as it returns. I do not cling, I circulate. I do not hoard, I trust. For money is not something I lose, it is something I send, and it comes back home with increase. I now speak with gratitude over every transaction. I thank the money as it moves. I thank the law that governs its return. I do not resent bills, I bless them. I do not fear expenses. I call them opportunities for expansion. The more I circulate with faith, the more I receive with grace. I talk to money not as something that escapes me, but as a loyal companion that honors my energy. When I bless it, it responds. When I release it in love, it returns with favor. I am no longer afraid of letting go, because I know who my source is. My supply is not in a paycheck, it is in the hands of God. I now step into the next level of wealth by changing the way I speak and the way I spend. I declare that every act of giving is sacred, and every return is inevitable. I am now preparing myself to receive in full, for I have released in full. I have sown with joy, and I shall reap with joy. I affirm with peace. I am now living in my wealthy reality. It is done. It is finished. I receive it in full. I am now living in my wealthy reality. It is done. It is finished. I receive it in full. I no longer talk about it as if it's coming. I speak from the place of already arrived. I have shifted my speech from hoping to knowing, from waiting to receiving, from someday to now. My wealthy reality is not fair, it is here, wrapped around me, revealing itself in signs, symbols, and sudden shifts. I walk through my day as one who has already claimed the promise. already stepped into the overflow, already received the inheritance. I don't need to ask if it's on the way. I already live inside the answer. Because I live in my wealthy reality, I treat my environment with reverence. I move with dignity. I speak with clarity. I expect favor, because favor is a natural part of my atmosphere. I expect opportunities, because I walk in divine timing. I expect doors to open, because my wealthy self no longer knocks, she is invited in. My speech reflects my status. I no longer use the language of lack, delay, or fear. I speak the vibration of completion. I say, I am ready. I say, it is mine. I say, I am provided for in full. There is no more room for contradiction in my voice. I have silenced the echoes of not enough. I have deleted the language of survival. Now I speak from stability. I speak from surplus. I speak from joy. And everything in my life is beginning to mirror my words. My reality is catching up with my vibration. The more I live in this state of already having, the more heaven pours out without hesitation. My job is not to force the outcome. My job is to speak from the outcome. So I rise each day and talk to myself like the wealthiest version of who I am. I look in the mirror and speak to the one who has already made it. I declare, you are abundant, you are taken care of, you are living proof of divine provision. And as I affirm, I rewire every cell of my being to believe what my spirit already knows. I no longer chase, I no longer wait, I no longer plead, I receive, I dwell in completion. And from this high place everything I need flows with ease. I affirm again and again, I am living in my wealthy reality. Not next week, not next year, now. And the now is holy, the now is fertile, the now is where all power resides. From this now I speak blessings into my life. From this now I prepare to overflow. I give thanks for what is seen, and I praise what is still invisible, because in spirit all things are already mine. The seen simply obeys the spoken, and as I continue to live in this completed state, I let it settle deep into my bones that this reality is mine forever. I do not fear it leaving me. I do not worry about it fading. It is fixed. It is sealed. It is eternal. I now open my hands, my heart, and my home. I let the floodgates open wide. I welcome the increase. I honor the divine order. I prepare for the physical to catch up with the spiritual, and I repeat with unwavering faith, I am now living in my wealthy reality. It is done. It is finished. I receive it in full. And so it begins. And so it begins. As I live in this wealthy reality, I no longer question whether it will last, because I know it is not built on luck, it is built on law. I am not in a fleeting moment of favor. I am in an eternal covenant of provision. Wealth is not something I stumbled upon, it is something I've aligned with. It is something I've agreed with. It is something I've spoken into being. And every time I speak with faith, the universe listens and responds in kind. I now speak of increase as my daily rhythm. I expect it. I welcome it. I allow it. Every dollar I spend returns to me multiplied. It does not leave me empty, it leaves me expanded. I no longer spend with fear. I release with power. Money is not lost. It is not gone. It is not wasted. It is in motion. It circulates with purpose. It travels in love and returns in abundance. I speak to it as it flows from my hands. Bless you, and return with increase. I speak to every purchase, every transaction, every gift. You are planted in fertile soil, and you will rise with more. I have stepped into a deeper understanding. Money is not just physical, it is spiritual. It responds to my tone. It follows the direction of my voice. When I speak multiplication, multiplication must happen. I no longer see giving as subtraction, I see it as divine sowing. I give with joy, not with calculation. I give with trust, not with tension. Because I know that whatever leaves my life in love will come back in overflow. My money is blessed. It is surrounded by angels. It is charged with sacred energy. It goes into the world to bless, to serve, to expand, and it comes back to me, overflowing, elevated, and energized. There is no loss in divine law, only return, only rise, only reward. And so I spend with confidence, because I know who I am. I am a steward of the divine economy. I speak well of money, and it responds in kind. I let go of guilt, of shame, of fear, of hesitation. I no longer apologize for having more. I no longer shrink myself to seem humble. I walk in true humility by honoring the supply I've been given, by using it wisely, by speaking life over it, by letting it grow through me. I treat money as sacred, because it is a tool of love when placed in the hands of the faithful. I know that wealth is not, the goal alignment is. And when I align with truth, wealth must follow. I do not separate the spiritual from the financial. They are one. They are both energy, both vibration, both reflection of belief. I speak to my finances with reverence. I declare their purpose. I call them holy. And in this frequency money obeys. It cannot resist the one who blesses it. It cannot deny the one who calls it forth in love and wisdom. So I now release all fear about spending. I release all anxiety about enough. I am always provided for. I am always restored. I am always in circulation with the divine. And now I rise into even greater truth. I no longer need to prove or strive or convince. I speak, and I receive. I declare, and I walk in it. I now prepare to affirm with all the power of completion. I am now living in my wealthy reality. It is done. It is finished. I receive it in full. And so I open my arms, and I say again with power, I am now living in the overflow. I am now living in the overflow. I am no longer waiting for a breakthrough. I am the breakthrough. I do not live in anticipation of blessings. I live inside the blessing. I do not visit wealth occasionally. I dwell in it permanently. Overflow is not a gift I earn, it is a state I embody. I do not question if I'm worthy of it, because the very breath within me is proof that I am. I was born to receive. I was created for abundance, and now that I have spoken it, believed it, and lived it, I anchor myself in it. Overflow surrounds me. It pours through me. It expresses as me. I am walking evidence that divine supply is real and ever present. In this state, I no longer speak as a seeker. I speak as a receiver. I no longer imagine increase as a distant dream. I acknowledge it as my current reality. I talk to myself not as one hoping for change, but as one already changed. My language has shifted. My posture has shifted. My spirit has shifted. I live in the reality of answered prayers. I no longer repeat old stories of lack. I tell new stories of miracles. I recount the times money arrived out of nowhere, the times bills were paid before deadlines, the times I gave and received in the same breath. I hold those moments as proof that the law works, that faith manifests, that God provides. I speak from wholeness. I speak from fullness. I say, I am now living in my wealthy reality. It is done. It is finished. I receive it in full. And as I say it, I feel the weight of all old limitation dissolve. I am no longer asking the world for permission to prosper. I have given myself the divine permission. I have accepted the call. I have agreed with heaven. I speak, I believe, and I receive. It flows because I flow. It multiplies because I bless. It stays because I no longer push it away with fear or doubt. I have become the vessel. My energy has become the invitation. My words have become the gate. The overflow is no longer just around, mate is me. I live from it. I breathe through it. I give because of it. I am so filled with supply that I no longer wonder if I have enough. I wonder who else I can bless. I no longer keep score, I keep flowing. I no longer shrink, I expand. My wealth now reaches into every corner of my life, my health, my relationships, my ideas, my voice. I am rich in all ways, because I speak in all truth. And so, for these 3 days and beyond, I talk to myself like the sacred soul I am. I speak words that shape worlds. I affirm realities that heaven already wrote for me. I let no word fall from my lips without power. I release no sentence without purpose. My voice is the frequency of fulfillment. My affirmations are divine instructions. My declarations are agreements with destiny. Every time I speak wealth, I hear the echo of God saying, "It is so." I do not wait, I align. I do not hesitate, I trust. And I do not chase, I magnetize. I talk to myself like this, and everything in my life must now rise to meet it. My words are the law, and the law has already moved. I am wealthy now. I am wealthy now. I am wealthy now. I receive divine supply with ease. I receive divine supply with grace. I receive divine supply with joy. Money flows to me. Money grows through me. Money stays with me. I am one with the source of all wealth. I am one with the source of all wealth. I am one with the source of all wealth. I no longer chase, I attract. I no longer beg, I believe. I no longer wait, I receive. My words are power. My words are truth. My words are law. Every dollar I spend returns multiplied. Every dollar I spend returns multiplied. Every dollar I spend returns multiplied. I am living in my wealthy reality. It is done. It is done. It is done. Overflow is mine. Overflow is mine. Overflow is mine. I give thanks. I give praise. I give permission. And so it is. And so it is. And so it is.
The universe is a great, unseen bank of infinite supply. It moves not by chance, but by law, an immutable, invisible law that bends and shapes itself according to the words we speak and the thoughts we hold fast in the silence of our hearts. Every man and woman walks daily in a world woven of their own affirmations, for the spoken word is a magic wand that commands substance to form. Money, wealth, and prosperity are never truly outside of us, but rather waiting patiently for the signal, the declaration, the word that calls them forth. You see, words are seeds. When spoken with conviction, they drop into the fertile soil of the unseen, and the universe, which never argues, which never resists, begins to rearrange itself to bring forth the harvest. The law is impersonal. It does not ask whether your word is careless or deliberate. It only knows to obey. This is why so many live in lack, while others live in abundance. The difference lies not in favor or fortune, but in the silent decree made by the tongue and the mind behind it. Money is spirit in visible form. It is energy, and energy responds instantly to the command of consciousness. The universe listens with perfect clarity, and what is spoken 3 times in power becomes etched upon the ether. Many imagine they must labor, struggle, or plead for prosperity. Yet the truth is more radiant and more simple. To the one who understands the law, money comes as a faithful servant, summoned by words of certainty. There are 3 words that open the vault of heaven, 3 words that turn the key in the invisible lock of supply. These words are not complicated, nor are they reserved for a chosen few. They are a universal code, accessible to every soul who dares to speak them in faith. When spoken, they carry with them a vibration so clear, so commanding, that money rushes forth, as though it had been waiting just outside your door all along. Think of it a life where money comes with ease, where the bills are paid before they are due, where opportunities present themselves without strain, where the river of supply flows so steadily that worry becomes a forgotten shadow. This is not a dream, nor a far-off possibility, but a present reality waiting for your word. For the word is power, the word is law, and the law is obedience. The universe cannot withhold. It does not know how to delay. When the correct word is spoken, it hastens to perform, moving people's circumstances, and even the winds of chance into perfect alignment. The 3 words for money are like a master key. They unlock doors you did not even know existed. Words are seeds that command substance, and every word that falls from the lips of man is a decree to the invisible. The spoken word is never idle. It carries within it the power of creation, the pattern of the unseen, and the essence of the harvest to come. The world that surrounds you at this very moment is nothing more than a garden of words spoken long ago, some sound in faith, some sound in fear, yet all brought to life with the same obedience of the universal law. Each phrase, each thought turned into sound, is a living seed cast into the soil of the ether, and the ether, being infinitely fertile, brings forth without hesitation. This is why words must be guarded as treasures, for what you speak today becomes the fabric of tomorrow. And the universe is forever listening. Consider for a moment the way a seed works in the natural. When a gardener places a tiny seed into the earth, he does not see the tree or the flower immediately, yet he knows with certainty that the seed has begun its work. He does not dig it up in doubt, nor does he question the soil. He trusts the process because the law of growth is immutable. So it is with words. When you speak them with intention, they are dropped into the fertile unseen realm, and though no evidence may appear at first, the substance of life is already shifting, already aligning itself to bring forth the harvest of your decree. The careless gardener who plants weeds reaps weeds, and the careful gardener who plants flowers reaps flowers. In the same way, the careless soul who speaks of lack, debt, or failure plants seeds of poverty, while the wise one who speaks of plenty, opportunity, and increase plants seeds of wealth. The universe does not interpret words as casual chatter. It accepts every utterance as command. To say, "I never have enough," is to send forth a seed of scarcity, and that seed cannot help but sprout. To say, "Money comes easily to me," is to plant a seed of abundance, and the soil of the unseen law must respond. There is no middle ground, for the law cannot deny itself. Many wonder why they live in cycles of want, yet their very speech is a constant proclamation of lack. Their words are complaints, doubts, and fears repeated until the harvest becomes a field of limitation. Yet the moment the tongue changes its decree, the harvest must change as well. For words are the blueprint, and the universe has no choice but to obey. The creative force of words lies not in their sound alone, but in the conviction behind them. Words spoken without belief are like seeds cast on barren ground. But words spoken with faith sink deeply into the soil of the spirit and draw forth substance. When you declare with certainty that wealth is yours, when you affirm without wavering that supply flows freely to you, you ignite the power of the seed. You have in that moment commanded substance, and substance will hasten to form. Faith is the sunlight, conviction is the rain, and together they nourish the word until it manifests as visible reality. This is why words of gratitude carry such power. For gratitude is the conviction that the harvest already exists, and the universe delights in bringing more to one who speaks, As though already full, every great teacher of truth has pointed to the power of the word. The ancients knew that speech was the wand of creation, and that by uttering sound charged with belief, one could call forth realities unseen. Even in daily life, one can observe how words shape the environment. Speak encouragement to a child and watch confidence bloom. Speak criticism and watch doubt take root. The same principle governs money and prosperity. Speak of it as a faithful friend, and it draws near. Speak of it as an elusive stranger, and it keeps its distance. Words magnetize, they are not mere air. They are currents of energy carrying instructions to the universe. When spoken often, they engrave themselves upon the subconscious mind, which in turn impresses the law, and the law manifests. This is why repetition matters. Just as a farmer does not plant one seed and expect a field, the wise soul does not speak abundance once and stop. He repeats it, waters it, affirms it until the soil is rich with planted intention. Each word is a new seed, and the more seeds of wealth and supply you scatter, the greater your harvest will be. But repetition must be deliberate, not mechanical. To speak words without belief is to toss seeds upon stone, yet to speak with emotion, with feeling, with a vision of the wealth already present, is to plant them deeply in fertile ground. The subconscious mind is the soil, and it accepts every word spoken in feeling as truth. It does not argue, it does not resist, it only obeys. This is why one must speak wisely. For careless words spoken in anger or fear can be as potent as words spoken in faith. When you understand that words are seeds that command substance, you become the master of your garden. No longer do you permit idle chatter of poverty to pass your lips. No longer do you allow words of failure to plant themselves in your field. You choose instead to speak of money as a friend who never fails, of opportunities as doors that swing wide, of abundance as the natural order of your life. Each time you speak in this way, you are sowing seeds of prosperity, and each seed must bring forth after its kind. The law is unerring. Just as surely as the apple seed brings forth the apple tree, words of wealth must bring forth wealth, and words of lack must bring forth lack. The soil does not discriminate, it only grows what is planted. Words are not only commands to the universe, they are also commands to the self. Each word spoken imprints itself upon the mind, shaping belief, and belief is the magnet of manifestation. To say, "I am rich in every way," is not only a message to the universe, but a message to your own subconscious that it must align your thoughts, feelings, and actions with richness. In this way, the seed not only summons substance from the outside, but reshapes the inner self to receive it. Many fail to hold wealth, because within they carry words of unworthiness, yet the moment they change their speech, they change their belief, and the universe responds accordingly. The universe obeys without question or delay, for it is a perfect mirror of thought and word. A boundless servant of the decree you make with your lips and the conviction you carry in your heart. There is no bargaining in this law, no hesitation, no committee of judgment that decides who shall be granted prosperity and who shall be denied. The law is exact, precise, and impartial. It answers as faithfully to the whisper of doubt as it does to the shout of faith. To say that the universe obeys without question is to understand that there is no filter of morality, no preference of circumstance, no waiting for worthiness. It does not pause to ask whether you are deserving. It only reflects back to you the pattern of what you have spoken, believed, and impressed upon it. This is why many are astonished to find their fears manifest as quickly as their desires. They do not understand that worry is a prayer in reverse, a constant repetition of negative affirmations that the universe must obey. To say, "I fear losing money," is as much a command as saying, "I welcome great wealth." The difference is in the direction of the energy, not the obedience of the law. The universe delays nothing, for delay would be resistance, and resistance does not exist in the law of creation. Once the decree has been spoken with feeling, the law moves instantly, invisibly rearranging circumstances, drawing people, and shifting opportunities to bring forth the reflection of the seed planted. Imagine a great ocean that reflects the slightest ripple. You cannot drop a stone into still water and demand that the ripple wait until you are ready. The ripple is instant, inevitable, and exact. So it is with the universe. The moment the word is spoken, the ripple begins, whether it be a ripple of abundance or of lack. Some will say, "But I have spoken prosperity and not yet seen it." Yet this is because they watch the water impatiently, doubting the ripple, digging up the seed. They do not realize the law is already at work, that unseen threads are weaving together the fabric of their decree. Impatience interrupts the process, not because the law resists, but because the doubter speaks new words of delay, and the universe obeys those just as faithfully. The obedience of the universe is perfect, and this perfection is both a great blessing and a solemn responsibility. It means that no word is wasted, no decree unheard, no seed barren. It means you are always creating, even when you believe yourself idle. The conversation overheard in complaint, the muttered fear about money, the sigh of, "I never have enough." All of these are taken as orders, for the universe never questions your intent. It is as though you stand before a loyal servant who awaits your every word. Speak clearly and deliberately, and the servant executes your command. Speak carelessly and thoughtlessly, and the servant executes that as well. The servant does not ask if you truly meant it. It only knows to obey. This obedience is not bound by time. The universe does not say, "Tomorrow I will obey." It does not push your decree into some distant corner of existence. The shift begins at once, though your human eyes may not yet see it. The unseen is already rearranged, the invisible already in motion. Delay is only the appearance of the visible world catching up with the invisible command. If you decree wealth, wealth is already yours in the unseen, and the law moves to translate it into matter. If you decree lack, lack is already yours in the unseen, and the law rushes to manifest it in form. The immediacy of the obedience is the evidence of its faithfulness. For the universe is incapable of ignoring a decree, once given. Those who understand this truth guard their words as treasures, for they know that every syllable carries weight. They do not idly speak of sickness, debt, or failure, for they know that such words set forces in motion as real as the sunrise. Instead, they speak only of health, wealth, and success, not because they are blind to present appearances, but because they know appearances are only the residue of past decrees. They choose to plant anew, to speak anew, to command anew, and by doing so they rewrite the fabric of their tomorrow. They live not as victims of circumstance, but as commanders of law, for they know that the law never argues, never delays, never questions. It only obeys. To test this truth, one has only to watch their own life carefully. Speak often of blessings, and soon blessings multiply. Speak often of troubles, and soon troubles appear in greater number. Speak as though money flows, and the flow begins. Speak as though money is always absent, and absence becomes the norm. This is not chance but certainty, for the law cannot break itself. The universe does not choose one decree over another, it gives each back in the same form it was spoken. If the words are charged with emotion, the obedience is even swifter, for feeling magnifies command. A casual word may plant a weak seed, but a word spoken with passion and repetition is a mighty decree, and the universe hastens to obey it with equal passion. The obedience of the universe is also impartial. It does not favor the rich over the poor, the educated over the unlearned, the strong over the weak. It favors only the word. Any soul who understands this law may rise from want to wealth, from obscurity to influence, simply by commanding with deliberate speech. History is filled with those who held little, but spoke as though they held much, and soon much was given. Likewise, many who possessed abundance fell into ruin, because their words were those of fear, doubt, and loss. The law has no bias, it reflects only the decree. Because the obedience is so absolute, there is no need for struggle. Many believe they must strive and fight for prosperity, but this is because they do not trust the immediacy of the law. They plant a seed, and then attempt to force its growth with anxious toil, forgetting that the law requires only the seed and the faith that it must grow. Struggle often plants new seeds of hardship, for the words spoken in struggle are words of lack. I must work harder, I must strive, I must push. These words are themselves commands, and the universe obeys, providing more struggle, more striving, more pushing. Yet the one who speaks calmly, my wealth flows with ease, my money comes freely, plants seeds of effortless supply, and the universe, which never questions, sets the channels of ease into motion. Every soul has within it the choice of decree. Each day, each moment, you stand before the obedient universe with the power to command. You may speak life or death, wealth or poverty, abundance or lack, and the law will obey you without hesitation. It does not delay, it does not pause, it does not ask. It mirrors, it reflects, it fulfills. To realize this is to awaken to the astonishing power of speech, to see that you are never waiting on the universe. It is always waiting on you. Money is energy responding to spoken word, and like all energy, it moves according to the vibration to which it is tuned. It is not solid or fixed as many believe, it is a living current, a river of substance that flows in answer to the signals you send forth with your voice, your affirmations, and your declarations. The universe is not holding money in vaults beyond your reach. It is not withholding from one and granting to another out of whim or favoritism. It is simply responding to the frequency of your speech. For every word carries a tone, a resonance, and that resonance attracts its like. When you say, I am prosperous, the energy of money aligns with you, for prosperity and money are of the same vibration. When you say, I cannot afford this, the energy of lack aligns with you, for lack is its own vibration as well. Money is not moral or immoral, kind or unkind. It is obedient energy that mirrors the words you cast into the field of life. Energy is never stagnant. It must move, flow, circulate. Money, being energy, seeks circulation, and the spoken word acts as the guide, the channel through which it flows. When you speak words of abundance, you create open channels, doors, and pathways through which money can enter and circulate in your life. When you speak words of limitation, you close those channels, you shut the doors, you dam the river, and the flow diverts elsewhere. Many wonder why money seems to flow to others with ease while bypassing them. Yet if they examined their speech, they would see words of doubt, fear, and complaint repeated daily. The universe does not make mistakes in distribution, it only follows the paths carved by your spoken decrees. Words of faith create wide highways for money to travel. Words of lack create dead ends where the flow cannot continue. Money as energy is highly sensitive to command, and the spoken word is the clearest command of all. Thought carries power, but when thought is spoken, it crystallizes into vibration that cannot be ignored. The air carries it, the ether records it, and the universe responds. This is why affirmations spoken aloud carry such creative force. To think, I am wealthy, is to plant a seed in silence, but to speak, I am wealthy, aloud is to cast that seed into the air, to give it sound and vibration that ripple outward into the field of energy. The vibration of the word joins the vibration of money itself, and like a magnet, the two attract one another. Energy seeks resonance, and the spoken word provides that resonance. Money responds to spoken word, because spoken word reveals belief. When one says, I never have enough, even in jest, the vibration of lack is clear, and money cannot flow toward it, for the vibration repels abundance. When one says, money comes easily and freely to me, the vibration of openness is clear, and money hastens to respond, for the energy of abundance is drawn to openness. The response may not always appear in the exact form expected, a check in the mail, a gift, an opportunity, an idea. But it will always come, for the law of energy must answer the command. Words charged with faith and repeated often become the standing vibration of your life, and money, as energy, gravitates to the vibration that matches it. Consider a tuning fork struck in a quiet room. Any object vibrating at the same frequency will begin to resonate, even without being touched. Spoken words are like tuning forks. When you speak of wealth, you strike the frequency of abundance, and money begins to resonate with that call. When you speak of debt, you strike the frequency of lack, and more debt begins to resonate and appear. The universe is a vast chamber of resonance, and your words are the strikes that call forth its echo. Money is simply one of the many echoes, but because it is tied to survival and comfort, its response feels immediate and profound. Those who constantly declare lack unknowingly strike the tuning fork of limitation again and again, and they are puzzled when the room vibrates only with scarcity. Yet the remedy is simple: strike a new tone, speak new words, and the resonance must change. The energy of money is neutral. It does not love one person and hate another. It is not attracted to toil or repelled by ease. It does not respond to pleading or begging, for begging carries the vibration of lack. It does not respond to resentment, for resentment carries the vibration of resistance. It responds to clarity, certainty, gratitude, and affirmation, for these carry the vibration of flow. When you say with conviction, "I am aligned with wealth," the energy of money hears a clear signal and moves toward it. When you say with doubt, "I hope I will have enough," the energy of money hears an unclear signal and cannot respond with certainty. Energy requires direction, and the spoken word provides it without ambiguity. Money also responds to spoken word because words shape the subconscious mind, and the subconscious mind is the great attractor of energy. The subconscious does not argue with your speech. If you say often enough, "I can never save money," it accepts that as truth and directs energy to fulfill it. If you say often enough, "I am a magnet for wealth," it accepts that as truth and directs energy to fulfill it. Money follows the subconscious command, and the subconscious is commanded by repeated speech. This is why affirmations are so powerful, not because the words themselves hold magic, but because the repetition of them reshapes the subconscious belief, and belief alters the flow of energy. Money is energy responding to belief expressed in word. Energy seeks order. Chaos in speech creates chaos in results. To speak abundance one day and lack the next is to send mixed signals, and the energy of money does not know which command to follow. The result is erratic flow, sudden gains followed by sudden losses, opportunities appearing and then vanishing. But to speak consistently, daily, unshakably of wealth and ease is to provide a stable vibration, and energy aligns with stability. Just as a compass needle settles when undisturbed, money settles into the lives of those who speak with unwavering clarity. Inconsistency breeds uncertainty, and energy cannot obey uncertainty with precision. Consistency breeds certainty, and energy flows to certainty as naturally as water flows downhill, because money is energy responding to spoken word. There is no limit to how much can flow. Energy is infinite, and the universe holds no shortage. Limitation exists only in speech, in the declarations of scarcity repeated by lips that do not realize their power. Those who say, "There is never enough to go around," are commanding limitation, and limitation becomes their portion. Those who say, "There is always more than enough for me," are commanding abundance, and abundance becomes their portion. The universe does not measure the decree and ration energy. It does not say, "This one asked too much, I must withhold." It simply obeys, for energy has no concept of too much or too little. It flows where it is directed, and the word is the director. 3 words act as the master key to supply. For the universe, though infinite, awaits a signal, a phrase, a command that opens its invisible storehouse. Words are keys, and just as a key of the wrong shape will not turn the lock, so too do careless words fail to open the doors of abundance. Yet when the right words are spoken with clarity and conviction, the lock yields instantly, the door swings wide, and the flood of provision pours forth without resistance. These 3 words are not ordinary. They are charged with the vibration of certainty, stamped with the seal of divine law, and they carry within them the command that no force can deny. They are simple to speak, yet their simplicity hides their power, for the mind of man often seeks complication. Forgetting that the universe responds to clarity, when spoken, these words align thought, feeling, and energy into perfect harmony. The scattered desires of the mind are gathered into a single decree, and the law, being exact, rushes to fulfill it. Many speak endlessly of what they want, piling sentence upon sentence, explanation upon explanation, yet their many words scatter energy, diluting their command. The three words are precise, they focus power as a magnifying glass focuses light into fire. Energy flows where attention goes, and the three words direct attention with laser clarity. The universe does not require long speeches, it requires alignment, and alignment is best expressed in simplicity. The key does not need to be heavy or ornate to open the door, it only needs the right cut. So it is with these three words. Think of how a master key works. One key may open many doors, because it is aligned with the central pattern of the lock. These three words act the same way. They open the lock of money, but also the lock of health, of opportunity, of relationships, for the law is one. And the vibration that governs one area governs all. Yet when turned toward money, the effect is immediate and unmistakable. They act as a signal to the infinite substance, saying, "Here is the channel, here is the vessel, here is the command." The supply that seemed hidden, delayed or withheld rushes into visibility because the lock is no longer closed. What appeared as limitation was never a lack of supply, but a lack of the right key. The storehouse has always been full, waiting for the decree that opens it. The three words hold power not because of their letters, but because of the belief they awaken in the speaker. They bypass doubt and strike directly at the subconscious mind, and once the subconscious accepts them, the law cannot refuse. They plant themselves like seeds deep in the soil of the spirit, and from them grows a tree of manifestation. Each repetition waters the seed, strengthens the root, and builds the trunk until the fruit of visible money appears in the outer world. Other words may fall upon the surface and be swept away by winds of disbelief, but the three words sink deep, rooting themselves where no wind can touch them. They hold within them a vibration so pure, so certain, that the universe must answer without delay. The master key does not beg, it does not plead, it does not hope, it commands. These three words carry the energy of command, not of request. The universe is not a reluctant giver that must be persuaded. It is a faithful servant that must be instructed. When you speak these words with authority, the law recognizes them as final, as irrevocable, as absolute. To speak them with hesitation is to hold the key loosely in the lock, never turning it fully. But to speak them with certainty is to turn the key, hear the click, and feel the door swing open. Money flows because the decree has been made, and the law must obey. The words themselves are not new. They have echoed through time, spoken by those who understood the hidden laws of prosperity. Ancient teachers uttered them, mystics whispered them, and those who lived in wealth without toil carried them upon their tongues. They are not bound by culture or language, for their essence transcends translation. What matters is the vibration, the faith, the certainty with which they are spoken. They are the distillation of truth into sound, the essence of law made audible. To the unknowing they may seem too simple, too small, too ordinary to hold such power, yet that is the disguise of truth. The greatest keys are never elaborate, they are simple, direct, and absolute. When the three words are spoken, doors that seemed locked for years open suddenly. Debts dissolve, opportunities appear, ideas flow, gifts arrive, channels expand. It is not that the words create something from nothing, it is that the words align you with what already exists. Supply has always been present, surrounding you in infinite measure, but without the key, it remains unseen, untouched, unused. The words remove the veil. They shift the lens through which you perceive, and as perception changes, reality must change to match it. The energy of money, always abundant, always flowing, recognizes the vibration of the three words and rushes to meet it. To speak the three words once is to strike the key in the lock. To speak them daily, hourly, is to live with the door open, to keep the channels wide and clear. Repetition is not for the universe, it does not need reminding. But for the speaker, for the subconscious, for the mind that must be trained to live in certainty. Each repetition deepens the groove of belief, and belief is the true magnet of supply. Doubt is a second key that locks the door again, but faith is the hand that holds the master key steady. Speak the words until doubt falls silent, until the subconscious sings them as truth, until every cell of your being vibrates with their certainty. Then money flows as naturally as breath, as faithfully as the rising of the sun. The master key works because the universe is lawful, not because it is partial. It responds to vibration, and the three words are the vibration of abundance in its purest form. Just as a tuning fork will cause another of the same pitch to vibrate, so too do these words strike the pitch of wealth, and money, being energy, resonates with the call. You do not need to chase money when you hold the key. You only need to speak and let the law obey. The chase is the path of those who do not know the key, who rattle at locked doors with frustration. But the one who knows speaks with calm certainty, turns the key, and walks through as though the door were never locked at all. Faithful speech creates faithful wealth. For the universe does not respond to fleeting words spoken in passing, but to steady decrees repeated with conviction. A word spoken once with doubt is like a seed tossed upon stony ground, easily lost to wind or trampled underfoot. But a word spoken again and again, with belief and certainty, roots itself deeply in the soil of the subconscious and grows into a tree that cannot be shaken. Wealth is not built on chance, nor on sudden bursts of effort, but on the steady rhythm of faithful speech. Each affirmation, each declaration, is a stone laid upon another until the structure of abundance stands complete. The law does not reward hesitation, but it rushes to reward consistency. For consistency is proof of belief, and belief is the command to which the universe must respond. Faithful speech is not idle chatter. It is the language of authority. To speak faithfully is to speak as though the decree were already fulfilled. To utter words not from a place of need, but from a place of knowing. The one who says, "I am wealthy," while looking at lack speaks not in denial of what is seen, but in allegiance to what is unseen. For the unseen is the cause and the seen is only the effect. To remain faithful to that word, even when appearances contradict it, is to prove mastery. For appearances are shifting shadows, while the law that responds to speech is eternal and unchanging. Faithful wealth is born of such steadfastness, of refusing to allow outer circumstances to dictate inner speech. It is the tongue held firm in its declaration, the mind unwavering in its proclamation, the spirit unswerving in its certainty. The power of faithful speech lies in its ability to reprogram the inner self. The subconscious is the great builder of experience, and it is molded not by stray thoughts, but by repeated words. Each faithful declaration carves a new pattern within, and the universe, reflecting that pattern, brings it into form. To say once, "I am rich," may stir the waters of possibility, but to say daily, hourly, unshakably, "I am rich," engraves wealth into the very fabric of being. The subconscious, once convinced, does not argue, does not resist, does not forget. It becomes a magnet drawing opportunities, people, and channels that align with the spoken decree. Faithful speech is the language by which the subconscious is taught. And once the lesson is learned, wealth must follow. Wealth that arises from faithful speech is faithful wealth, because it is rooted in law, not in chance. Money gained by accident can vanish as quickly as it came, for it was never anchored in certainty. But money drawn by faithful speech is anchored in the vibration of the speaker, woven into the fabric of their consciousness, and cannot be lost. Even if one channel closes, another opens, for the wealth does not depend on a single source, but on the state of being created by faithful speech. Just as a tree rooted deeply in the earth does not wither when one branch is cut, so faithful wealth does not diminish when one stream dries. For the roots remain strong, and the law must always provide another. Faithful speech requires discipline, for the tongue is often quick to wander. Doubt whispers, fear presses, appearances distract, and many speak according to what they see instead of what they decree. Yet discipline trains the tongue to remain steady, to speak abundance even in the face of bills, to speak supply even in the face of lack, to speak wealth even in the presence of delay. Each time doubt rises and the faithful word is spoken instead, the will is strengthened. The belief deepened, the vibration clarified. Discipline turns faithful speech from effort into habit, until the words of wealth flow as naturally as breath. In that moment, the law is not only obeying the word, but resonating with a state of being that cannot be shaken. Faithful speech also creates alignment with gratitude, and gratitude multiplies wealth. To say, "I am thankful for the money that flows to me," is to acknowledge abundance before it appears, and such acknowledgement is itself a magnet for more. Gratitude spoken faithfully is not mere politeness, but a declaration of trust, a signal to the universe that the supply is certain and already received. The more it is spoken, the more it becomes a natural vibration, and the more money flows in response. Gratitude is the perfume of faithful speech. It sweetens the word, enriches the decree, and hastens the harvest. A declaration of wealth coupled with gratitude is like seed planted in rich soil watered by rain. It must sprout, it must grow, it must bear fruit. Faithful speech creates faithful wealth, because it speaks not only to the universe, but also to others. When one speaks consistently of abundance, the world around them begins to see them as abundant. Opportunities are offered, doors are opened, invitations are extended, for people respond unconsciously to the vibration of words. To constantly speak of lack is to repel generosity, but to speak faithfully of wealth is to draw generosity, trust, and favor. The energy of speech influences not only the unseen but the seen, not only the spiritual but the material, not only the law of the universe but the hearts and minds of men. Wealth flows more easily to one who is perceived as wealthy, and faithful speech creates that perception, which in turn attracts the very substance it proclaims. The rhythm of faithful speech creates momentum. At first, the words may feel like effort, like climbing a hill, but with each repetition, the vibration grows stronger, the belief deeper, the alignment clearer. Eventually, the momentum carries itself, and the words no longer need force but flow naturally. At that point, the universe is no longer being called from afar, but is already present, already aligned, already delivering supply. The faithful word, spoken long enough, becomes the default thought, the automatic declaration, and the wealth that follows becomes equally automatic. Just as water flows downhill without effort once the channel is cut, so wealth flows without effort once the channel of faithful speech is carved deeply into the mind and spirit. Faithful wealth born of faithful speech is not only material but spiritual. It brings peace, for the speaker no longer fears loss, knowing the source is eternal. It brings confidence, for the speaker no longer doubts their worthiness, knowing the law cannot deny a faithful word. It brings generosity, for the speaker no longer clings in fear, knowing the supply is infinite. Wealth becomes more than numbers in an account, it becomes a state of being, a steady assurance, a living proof of the power of the spoken word. Faithful speech creates faithful wealth, because it builds wealth that is steady, enduring, and expansive, wealth that grows with the speaker, wealth that serves not only the self but others as well.
Beloved soul, you are never unprotected. You are never alone. At this very moment, unseen light surrounds you, a radiant armor woven from divine love, faith, and peace. You walk in the presence of infinite intelligence, and that presence goes before you, preparing your path, clearing your way, and dissolving all danger before you even arrive. The world may speak of fear, but divine law speaks of protection. Fear says, "What if something happens?" Faith says, "Nothing can touch me unless it carries God's permission and purpose." And when your faith becomes your fortress, nothing in the world can pierce your peace. Say softly, "I am surrounded by divine light. I am safe. I am guided. I am protected in all that I do." Protection is not about hiding, it is about remembering. When you remember who you are, a spark of the infinite, a child of divine substance, fear loses its grip. No weapon formed against you can prosper, because in divine consciousness, there are no weapons, only illusions of fear trying to be believed. Say with quiet confidence, "I do not fear. I remember my source. I live under grace and in perfect love." The law of protection is the law of awareness. What you are aware of, you invite. If you are aware of light, light meets you. If you are aware of fear, fear approaches. And so each morning, you are called to declare your awareness of divine safety, not as a ritual, but as a remembrance. Before you leave your home, before you take a step into the world, say within your heart, divine love goes before me, making safe, joyous, and successful my way. I am invisible to all harm. I am visible only to good. Feel the energy of those words wrap around you like golden light. This light is not imagination. It is energy. It is law. It is the same light that guided Moses through the Red Sea, that surrounded Daniel in the lion's den, that walked beside the Christ in the storm. That same presence now walks beside you. There is nothing to fear when you know this truth. You are not at the mercy of circumstance. You are under divine order. You are not a victim of energy. You are the vibration of divine protection itself. Say it aloud, I am the vibration of divine protection. I walk in peace. I rest in safety. I dwell in the secret place of the Most High. Every day brings you into contact with energy, words, thoughts, emotions, from people and places. Some are bright and kind, others heavy and confused. But none of it can cling to you if your spirit is anchored in light. You do not need to fight darkness. You only need to stay aware of your own light. Light dissolves shadow without effort. The truth is simple. You are safest when you are peaceful. Peace is not weakness. Peace is power. Peace is the frequency of divine protection. And when your vibration remains peaceful, you rise above confusion, chaos, and danger. Say softly, my peace protects me. My peace guides me. My peace is my proof that divine order is at work. When you begin your day with fear, you open your energy to accidents and anxiety. But when you begin your day with faith, you open your energy to safety and success. Divine protection is not luck. It is alignment. It is knowing that wherever you go, divine intelligence has already gone before you. There are unseen hands that guide your steps. There are unseen angels that stand guard at your doors. There is unseen order in everything that seems uncertain. The same power that keeps the stars from colliding keeps your path secure. Say with gratitude, thank you, divine source, that I am protected in all ways always. No harm can enter my field, for my field is filled with love. Every word you speak creates your world, so let your words be shields of light. When you say, I am protected, heaven agrees. When you say, nothing can harm me, angels align. When you say, divine love goes before me, roads open, storms still, and peace walks beside you. Do not let your mind dwell on danger, dwell on deliverance. Do not let your heart entertain fear, entertain faith. For faith is the atmosphere in which protection thrives. Say now, I walk by faith, not by fear. I walk by light, not by sight. I walk in divine confidence, for I am divinely protected. And when worry tries to whisper, remember this truth. Worry is the prayer of fear. Faith is the prayer of love. Pray love. Speak love. Live love. When you say, nothing can harm me, it is not arrogance. It is alignment. You are aligning yourself with the eternal law that love protects its own. See yourself now surrounded by white, gold light. It covers your home, your loved ones, your plans, your dreams. Every word you have spoken in faith has become a wall of radiance around your life. This wall is not made of stone, it is made of truth, and truth cannot be broken. Say again, I live in truth. I live in love. Therefore, I live in perfect safety. This is daily spiritual protection. Not superstition, but spiritual science. You do not need to watch the shadows when you walk with the sun, and you do not need to fear darkness when you carry light. So walk in peace, beloved soul. You are surrounded, supplied, supported, and secured by divine law. Nothing can touch the child of God. Nothing can enter the field of light except love. Repeat it as your declaration. I am surrounded by divine love. I am protected by divine power. I am guided by divine wisdom. Every step I take is safe. Every path I walk is blessed. And so it is. And so it continues, every morning, every moment, under grace and in perfect protection. Beloved soul, the word you speak is your wand. It is not a whisper into air. It is a command into creation. Every word is energy, clothed in sound, charged with power, and set free to perform its purpose. And when you understand this, you begin to build your protection not from fear, but from faith. For your words form the armor that nothing of darkness can pierce. Say softly, my words are my armor, my speech is my shield. Every word I speak is clothed in divine power. When you speak with love, you are covered in light. When you speak with fear, you open your door to confusion. That is why divine law teaches, by your words you are justified, and by your words you are condemned. Your speech decides your shield. Many walk unprotected, not because they lack prayer, but because they lack awareness of their spoken word. They say, I'm afraid. They say, bad things always happen to me. And the universe, hearing them, obeys. For the law does not discriminate between joke and judgment. It only fulfills what is declared with emotion. But the awakened soul speaks differently. The awakened soul says, I am divinely guided. I am safe in every direction. No harm can touch me, for my words are light. Say that now with conviction, my words are light. My words go before me and prepare my way. My words guard my home, protect my body, and bless my path. Each morning, you can put on this invisible armor through speech. It is simple, powerful, eternal. When you rise, declare, divine love goes before me today and makes easy, joyous, and safe my way. That single sentence becomes an energetic wall of light. No negative force can enter a field surrounded by love. The words of fear attract what they name. The words of faith attract what they expect. So speak not of what you dread. Speak only of what you desire. Say not, I don't want trouble, but I walk in peace. Say not, I hope nothing bad happens, but all things work together for my good. Your word is law. The moment you speak in faith, the universe rearranges itself to obey you, for divine power flows through the human tongue like current through wire. Your mouth is the gateway of miracles. Say it slowly. My words carry the vibration of peace. My words carry the frequency of love. My words carry the authority of divine law. When you speak protection over your life, it is not wishful thinking, it is spiritual engineering. Every affirmation builds a structure in the unseen realm. Every declaration becomes a wall of radiant energy around you. You may not see it, but creation sees it. You may not feel it instantly, but life begins to move according to it. Think of a soldier. They do not go to battle without armor. You, too, enter the world daily where thoughts, energies, and words fly like arrows. But your armor is invisible and invincible. It is the vibration of your speech. Every, I am safe, deflects fear. Every, I am loved, dissolves hostility. I am guided, redirects danger. Say softly, my words are my weapon and my peace. I speak light, therefore I live in light. Remember this divine secret. Silence has power, but speech has direction. Silence holds energy, but words send it forth. So when you speak, speak deliberately. Let no idle word leave your lips. Every careless word leaks energy. Every conscious word reinforces your protection. When you bless your day blesses you. When you bless your home becomes a temple. When you bless your money multiplies. Blessing is not habit, it is command. To bless means to call something into divine order. Say now, I bless my life. I bless my body. I bless my surroundings. I bless all who come near me with peace and goodwill. And in that moment, heaven responds. Even those who wish you harm are disarmed by invisible love. For no negative word can penetrate a field of divine blessing. This is why Florence Scovel Shinn taught, your word is your sword. A sword cuts through illusion. When you declare truth, it slices through fear. When you affirm love, it severs the roots of worry. When you speak prosperity, it cuts away limitation. You are never defenseless. Your speech is your defense. Every I am is a decree. Every I will is a creation. Every I trust is a command to the unseen forces of good. Say gently, I now speak words of divine protection. Every sound that leaves my lips carries light. My words are guided by divine intelligence and backed by spiritual law. Even in silence, your inner words create. So monitor your thought, speech as carefully as your verbal speech. For a thought repeated becomes vibration, and vibration becomes form. This is why you must choose words of strength, not sorrow, of certainty, not confusion. When your inner dialogue says, I am safe, your outer world reflects it. When your inner voice says, I am loved, even strangers treat you kindly. When your inner world says, I am light, no darkness can enter. Say this as a morning decree: divine love surrounds me, divine light protects me, divine power guards me, divine wisdom guides me. I am safe, I am loved, I am secure in all ways. Let those words echo in your heart throughout the day. They will not only protect you, they will direct you. They will lead you away from danger and toward destiny. They will keep your vibration high and your path clear. Remember, you do not need to beg for protection. You simply need to declare it. You are not pleading with God to save you. You are agreeing with God that you are already safe. That is the difference between fear and faith. Say with divine authority, I decree protection over my mind, my body, my spirit, my home, my path. Nothing of fear can touch me. Nothing of harm can find me. My word is law, and my law is love. You are speaking from the throne of divine consciousness. Your words are not small. They move substance. They travel into the invisible and return with visible proof. Each sentence spoken in love builds another layer of light around your life, and soon you will feel it. That calm assurance that wherever you go, you are wrapped in something unseen yet unmistakably real. That is the armor of words. Say one last time, my words are clothed in light. My speech is protected by grace. Every word I speak builds a wall of divine peace around me. I am safe, I am strong, I am surrounded by love. And so it is, and so it continues, as divine law made manifest through your spoken word. Beloved soul, every day you walk through energies. Some are bright with joy, others are heavy with fear. If you do not cleanse yourself spiritually, those vibrations begin to cling. Not because they are stronger than you, but because you forgot to release them. Divine protection is not only a shield, it is a flow. When energy stagnates, fear hides within it. But when you cleanse, forgive, and bless, all heaviness dissolves, and your light expands again. Say softly, I am cleansed by divine love. I am washed in light. All heaviness now leaves my mind, my heart, my home, and my life. Fear is not real power. It is simply faith inverted. Belief in what you do not want instead of what you desire. And the moment you return your attention to divine love, fear fades like fog before the sunrise. You do not fight fear, you outshine it. You do not battle darkness, you turn on the light. You do not argue with negativity, you bless it into silence. Say with calm authority, all fear is dissolved in divine love. Every thought not of peace now melts away. My field is pure. My heart is clean. My life is filled with light. Every word of worry, every memory of pain, every hidden resentment carries energy. If you hold on to it, it colors your vibration. But when you release it through love, forgiveness, and gratitude, your energy becomes radiant again. Forgiveness is the first cleansing power. To forgive does not mean to agree with what happened. It means to free yourself from it. Every time you say, I forgive, you open the windows of your soul and let divine light pour in. Forgiveness is not weakness. It is the highest strength. Say softly, I forgive everyone and everything. I forgive myself completely. I release all blame, and I am free. Now feel how your energy lifts. Forgiveness clears the air of your inner home. Resentment cannot breathe in love's atmosphere. Gratitude is the second cleansing power. Gratitude transforms what is heavy into holy. It takes what was meant for harm and turns it into wisdom. When you say thank you for even small things, the divine multiplies them. Gratitude is light, and where there is light, no shadow can stay. Say gently, I am thankful for this moment. I am thankful for the lessons that brought me here. I am thankful for the divine love that always protects me. Even your home carries energy. So each morning or evening, speak blessing into your space. Walk through your rooms and say, this home is filled with light. Every corner glows with peace. Every wall reflects divine love. No negativity can enter here. And as you speak, energy responds. Your home becomes a temple. Your atmosphere becomes your sanctuary. Fear cannot survive where love is spoken daily. Sometimes, you may feel tired or heavy without reason. That is only the world's vibration brushing against yours. It cannot stay unless you invite it. So the moment you notice it, stop and affirms, I release what is not mine. I am pure light. I am filled with peace. I am surrounded by divine protection now. Fear always disguises itself as logic, but divine wisdom knows better. Fear says, be careful. The world is dangerous. Faith says, be calm. God is present. When you remember that divine presence is here, fear dissolves instantly. Breathe deeply and say, I breathe in peace. I breathe out fear. I breathe in faith. I breathe out doubt. I breathe in divine light. I breathe out all that no longer serves me. This is how you cleanse daily, not through struggle, but through remembrance. Every breath can be a prayer. Every word can be a blessing. Every moment can be a reset. And when people around you carry anger, gossip, or fear, you do not need to absorb it. You can bless them silently. Say within yourself, I send them light. I remain in peace. Their energy cannot enter my field. For love is not a reaction, it is creation. And your love creates a protective barrier stronger than any wall. You are not responsible for other people's darkness, but you are responsible for maintaining your own light. And when your light shines, it becomes contagious. It uplifts others without effort. So each night before you rest, cleanse again. Say, I release this day into divine hands. I forgive all. I bless all. I am renewed by peace. I sleep within the circle of divine love. And you will feel the air around you grow softer, the atmosphere lighter, your dreams calm and filled with guidance. Negativity cannot live in a heart that blesses. Fear cannot find a door in a home filled with prayer. Darkness cannot remain where love is repeated. Say gently, I am love. I am light. I am divine protection in motion. All that is not of God now leaves me forever. You are becoming untouchable not by hardness, but by holiness. You are learning that protection is not about walls. It is about waves of love moving through you and around you. This is your daily cleansing. Forgive, bless, thank, and release. The simple rhythm of the universe itself. Each time you do, your vibration rises. Each time you rise, the world rearranges to match your peace. Say one last time, I am cleansed by divine love. I am filled with divine peace. I am surrounded by divine light. Fear has no place in me, for I am one with God, now and forever. And so it is. And so it continues, pure, peaceful, and perfect, under grace and in divine protection. Beloved soul, nothing protects you more completely than the quiet certainty of faith. Faith is the invisible fortress, built without bricks and guarded without fear. Stillness is the gate that keeps confusion outside and peace within. When you are still inside, the world cannot touch you. When your heart is calm, you are beyond the reach of chaos. It is not the noise around you that creates danger. It is the noise within. And the moment you still that inner storm, divine law takes command. Say softly, my calm is my protection. My faith is my shield. My peace surrounds me like light. fear rushes. Faith rests. Fear shouts. Faith whispers. Fear reacts. Faith remembers. In stillness, you remember that everything real is eternal and everything frightening is temporary. The universe moves in rhythm with your inner world. When you hurry, it mirrors haste. When you rest in trust, it mirrors grace. The secret of protection is therefore not resistance. It is relaxation in divine order. Say gently, I relax into divine order. I trust that every step I take is guided. Every path I walk is safe. Every outcome is already blessed. You are not protected because you fight. You are protected because you know. You are not safe because you hide. You are safe because you remember who walks beside you. The divine presence that created the stars holds your every breath. Close your eyes for a moment and feel it. There is no gap between you and God. There is no distance between your need and its supply. The same power that turns night into dawn is working quietly in your favor. Faith is not pretending. Faith is perceiving what the senses cannot yet see. It is the calm awareness that says, even this is under grace. And when you live that way, protection becomes natural, effortless, constant. Say aloud, I walk by faith, not by fear. I walk in peace, not in pressure. I walk in divine confidence, for infinite intelligence governs my steps. When fear comes knocking, do not answer the door with panic. Answer with praise. Say, peace be still, and the vibration changes instantly. The energy of peace is recognized by the universe as divine authority. You have seen the ocean after a storm. Once the surface calms, the depth returns to silence. So it is with you. When your surface mind quiets, your spiritual depth governs again. Each breath is a key to stillness. Breathe in faith, breathe out tension. Breathe in peace, breathe out worry. With every breath, your aura becomes clearer, your protection stronger. Say softly, I breathe in divine love. I breathe out all fear. I breathe in calm assurance. I breathe out every doubt. Faith is the atmosphere of miracles. Stillness is the doorway through which they enter. In quietness, divine ideas reach you easily. Guidance that keeps you safe. Timing that prevents mistakes. Intuition that whispers, go now, or wait here. Trust those inner signals. They are the language of protection. When you are agitated, you cannot hear them. When you are still, you hear everything. Remember, the universe does not protect through force. It protects through flow. When you push, you step out of rhythm. When you trust, you are carried. Say gently, I am carried by divine flow. I do not push against life. Life supports me perfectly. The ego says, I must control. Spirit says, I am guided. The ego fears outcomes. Spirit knows all outcomes are divine. Your work is not to defend yourself. It is to maintain your vibration. A peaceful mind is a fortress, a grateful heart is its gate. Keep gratitude open and fear has no entrance. Say with faith, gratitude surrounds me like a wall of light. Peace fills me like a river. Nothing unloving can cross my field. Even when storms appear, stay still inside. The outer may shake, but the inner stays anchored. Say, this too shall pass, for divine order never fails. And it will pass, always. Do not let headlines or opinions dictate your peace. You are not of the world's vibration. You are of divine frequency. You are tuned to a station called love, and love cannot be harmed. Repeat slowly, I dwell in divine love. I rest in divine peace. I live under divine protection, now and always. Every morning, center yourself in stillness before touching the noise of the world. And every night, return to it before sleep. It will become your atmosphere, your unseen sanctuary. For the soul anchored in faith cannot fall. The heart anchored in stillness cannot be shaken. The mind anchored in divine love cannot be touched by fear. You are safe, not because you hope to be, but because you already are. Safety is your natural state. Faith simply reveals it. Say one final time, I am calm, I am confident, I am protected. Divine peace surrounds me, divine power sustains me, divine love guards me. All is well, and all will always be well. And so it is, and so it continues, quietly, powerfully, perfectly, under grace and in divine protection. Beloved soul, you live among many energies. Each day, you meet souls carrying their own weather, some radiant with joy, others clouded with fear. You cannot control the storms that others carry, but you can choose whether they rain upon your spirit. The wise do not harden, they harmonize. They stay open in love but covered in light. Say softly, I am kind, yet guarded in divine wisdom. I am open, yet protected by love. No outside energy can disturb my peace. You do not protect yourself by closing your heart. You protect yourself by expanding your light so fully that nothing unloving can enter. When your vibration is strong, low energy cannot match it. It simply falls away. This is the gentle power of spiritual immunity. You do not fight darkness, you outshine it. In every environment, remember you are the thermostat, not the thermometer. You set the atmosphere, you do not absorb it. When you walk into a room, let your peace lead. Let your light speak before your words do. Say gently, my energy is sovereign. My light fills every space I enter. I am the peace that changes atmospheres. Sometimes you may feel tired or heavy after being around others. Do not judge yourself. Simply cleanse with love. Whisper, I release what is not mine. I bless every soul and return to peace. Instantly the energy lifts, for love does not cling, it clears. You are not here to fix anyone's vibration. You are here to maintain your own. When you stay centered, you become a silent teacher of balance. Those around you begin to calm, not because you speak loudly, but because your presence reminds them of peace. Say softly, I carry peace within me, and peace radiates around me. I am a blessing wherever I go, and I am always protected by divine love. There will always be voices that complain, energies that gossip, or spaces that feel tense. But divine law says, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. That includes words, thoughts, or emotions directed in envy or anger. None of it can find you when you are anchored in love. When someone speaks in negativity, bless them silently. Say within, divine love is at work in this soul. Peace now fills this situation, and let it go. You are not responsible for healing their fear, only for protecting your faith. Energy moves by permission. It can only enter your field if you agree with it. So never agree with fear, insult, or limitation. When someone says, you're unlucky, you silently say, I am divinely favored. When someone says, times are hard, you affirm, I live under grace, not under struggle. And thus the vibration never sticks. Say it aloud now. Nothing negative can attach to me, for I do not agree with it. I only agree with love, peace, and divine supply. If ever you must go into a place that feels heavy, perhaps a workplace, a crowd, or a situation of tension, prepare first in spirit. Visualize yourself surrounded by golden light, extending 6 feet around your body like a soft, radiant aura. Then affirm, I am clothed in divine light. Wherever I go, this light precedes me, protects me, and harmonizes all things in my path. You will feel the difference. The air changes, people become calmer, events align in your favor. That is not imagination, that is spiritual law in action. Even when negativity is directed toward you deliberately, you do not need to defend. You only need to bless. Blessing breaks the vibration instantly. Say, I bless this situation with divine love. I release it to higher law. You will feel a weight lift because love dissolves what ego tries to hold. Beloved, remember, boundaries are not fear, they are wisdom. Even divine love uses discernment. You can be gentle yet firm, kind yet clear. When something or someone drains your peace, you are allowed to step back with grace. Say within, I choose peace over pleasing. I choose alignment over obligation. I am free to protect my energy with divine wisdom. Your time, your attention, your vibration are sacred. Spend them where peace grows, not where fear multiplies. You owe no one access to your light who only wishes to dim it. You are here to shine, not to shrink. Say softly, my peace is sacred. My energy is protected. My presence blesses the world without being drained by it. Even environments can carry residue of old emotions, offices, hospitals, cities, or homes. When you enter such places, silently bless them. Say, divine light fills this space. All fear and sadness dissolve in love. Peace reigns here now. Your presence will change the frequency. For wherever a child of God walks in awareness, that place becomes holy ground. You are the walking temple of divine energy. When your aura is clear, you are untouchable by harm. Negativity cannot survive in your field because your light refuses to feed it. Say gently, I am surrounded by divine fire. Only love can touch me. Only peace can dwell with me. Only light can find me. And when the day ends, release all energy back to source. Before sleep, say, I return all borrowed energy to its divine origin. I reclaim all my power cleansed in love. I rest in peace and wake renewed in light. Nothing remains heavy when you speak such truth. For the divine law of energy says only love is real. Everything else dissolves. You are safe in all places because you are aware in all moments. Your awareness of love is your shield. Your faith is your filter. Your peace is your power. Say once more, I am untouchable in my peace. I am invisible to harm. I am radiant in love. Wherever I go, divine protection goes before me. And so it is. And so it continues, gently, powerfully, eternally, under grace and in perfect divine order. Beloved soul, divine protection does not only surround you, it speaks through you. It is not only a wall of light, it is a voice of wisdom within that guides your every step. That voice is quiet, calm, and sure. It never rushes, never fears, never condemns. It simply knows. And when you learn to listen to it, you walk through life like one guided by an unseen hand. Say softly, I am guided by divine intelligence. I hear the voice of God clearly. I am always in the right place at the right time. Every moment, infinite intelligence is speaking, through thoughts, feelings, signs, and timing. It may arrive as a gentle nudge. Turn left instead of right. It may come as a delay that saves you from harm. It may appear as a sudden peace when you think of one choice, and an unease when you think of another. That is divine intuition, your inner compass of protection. You were never meant to guess your way through life. The same power that created worlds walks with you, whispering your next step. You need only be still enough to listen. Say gently, I am receptive to divine direction. I do not rush. I allow divine wisdom to lead me. When fear shouts, intuition is drowned. When faith listens, intuition speaks. That is why peace is the atmosphere where guidance can be heard. You cannot hear the music of the divine if your mind is filled with noise. So silence is not emptiness, it is alignment. Many call it instinct. Florence called it divine leadings. You feel it as a pull, a knowing, a quiet yes or no. And when you honor it, protection unfolds like a golden path before your feet. Say softly, I trust my divine guidance. My intuition is the voice of God within me. I hear clearly, I move wisely, I walk safely. When you ignore that still voice, confusion increases. But when you obey it, miracles follow. Sometimes divine protection delays you to protect you. Sometimes it reroutes you to bless you. Sometimes it closes one door so that you may find the right one easily. The ego calls it frustration, the soul calls it favor. You are never late, never lost, never forgotten, only guided. Every seeming detour is divine timing at work. When you walk by faith, you never miss your turn. Say with gratitude, divine timing is my friend. Divine guidance is my constant companion. Every delay is protection. Every redirection is grace. The more you trust this guidance, the clearer it becomes. Like tuning a radio to a higher frequency, the more peace you hold, the louder the divine signal gets. Soon you will realize that nothing surprises you anymore. You sense everything before it happens. You will walk through your days with quiet assurance, saying, I feel it, I know it, I am led. And that is divine protection in its highest form. Intuitive awareness guided by love. There is a prayer Florence once spoke, Infinite Spirit, open the way for my immediate supply. Let every plan of evil be reversed in my favor. Let every obstacle become a stepping stone. I am divinely protected, divinely guided, divinely prospered. This prayer works because it acknowledges that nothing happens to you. It happens for you. Say softly, I am divinely guided to safety, success, and peace. I cannot miss what is mine. I cannot lose what is meant for me. When confusion tries to enter, pause and ask, does this feel peaceful? If peace speaks, move. If it does not, wait. Peace is your compass. God never guides through fear. Fear says, hurry. Faith says, rest. It's handled. Your spiritual protection is intelligent. It does not always remove challenge. Sometimes it redirects energy so you grow wiser, stronger, and safer next time. Nothing is random in divine order. Everything is perfectly placed. Say now, everything in my life is divinely arranged. I am at peace with divine timing. I trust my intuition completely. Even in uncertain situations, your inner voice never fails you. If you ever feel uneasy, do not dismiss it. That is your soul's alarm bell ringing softly. You may not know why at the time, but divine protection always explains itself later. You will look back and say, something told me not to go there. That something was someone. Infinite intelligence watching over you. You can also invite guidance through simple affirmation each morning. Infinite Spirit, open my mind to receive divine instruction. Guide my every thought, word, and action. Let me move only when you move. When you begin your day like this, every choice becomes protected by wisdom. You will find yourself calling at the right time, meeting the right person, taking the right turn, saying the right words. And all of it feels effortless. That is divine protection operating through divine guidance. Say with peace, I am divinely directed. I am never alone. I am guided by perfect intelligence that knows the way and keeps me safe. Even in times of confusion, say, Infinite Spirit, make the way clear. Then stop thinking and listen. The answer will come quietly, a word, a thought, a feeling, a sign. It will come when you are calm, never when you are frantic. The universe does not shout, it whispers. Beloved, divine guidance is not rare. It is constant. You do not need to chase it, you need only clear the noise that blocks it. That noise is fear, doubt, worry. The clearing is faith, silence, gratitude. Say softly, I am quiet, therefore I can hear. I am faithful, therefore I am led. I am peaceful, therefore I am protected. And when you follow that inner voice, everything aligns, timing, people, places, and outcomes. Life becomes smoother because you are no longer steering alone. You are driving with the infinite. And divine intelligence never makes a wrong turn. Repeat this daily truth, I am guided, guarded, and governed by divine love. Every step I take is directed. Every move I make is protected. I walk in wisdom and I arrive in peace. You are not guessing your path anymore. You are gliding through divine order. And that is the safest place you will ever be. Say one last time, I am one with divine intelligence. I hear clearly, I act wisely, I move safely. My intuition is my protection and my peace is my proof. And so it is. And so it continues, quietly, perfectly, and forever under grace and divine guidance. Beloved soul, protection is not an event. It is a way of being. It is not a moment of prayer. It is a vibration you carry as you walk through life. You are not protected because you say one affirmation. You are protected because you live in the consciousness of divine love every day. Every morning you awaken, divine light greets you. It says, here I am again, pure, ready, strong. Let's begin. And your first thought becomes your shield for the day. If you begin with gratitude, you open the gates of grace. If you begin with fear, you open the door to confusion. So choose gratitude first. Say softly, I begin this day in divine love. I am guided, protected, and blessed in all that I do. Love is the truest form of protection, because love dissolves everything that is not like itself. When you walk in love, no anger can reach you, no hate can harm you, no jealousy can stay near you. Love neutralizes every lesser vibration. It transforms attack into understanding, envy into admiration, fear into peace. Say gently, I walk in love, and love walks in me. I am surrounded by love. Therefore, I am surrounded by safety. Each day you move through the world as a carrier of energy. You are not here to absorb, you are here to radiate. Your light does not depend on the weather of the world. It shines because it is divine. The more love you radiate, the more protection surrounds you. The more gratitude you express, the more abundance follows you. The more peace you hold, the more heaven lives within you. Say quietly, I radiate peace. I radiate gratitude. I radiate divine light wherever I go. The great secret is this: protection is not defense. It is divine presence. You do not have to hide from darkness. You simply remember who you are. You are the light of God in human form. When you walk in awareness of that truth, fear cannot recognize you. You are invisible to harm because your energy is transparent to love. Say softly, only love can find me. Only peace can reach me. Only blessings can touch my life. When you wake, see yourself covered in white gold light, pure, bright, gentle, and alive. Let it extend through your home, your work, your family, your future. This is not imagination. This is creation. Every thought of love is a brushstroke on the canvas of divine protection. Before you step into your day, say, divine light goes before me. Divine love surrounds me. Divine power sustains me. Divine wisdom guides me. Then go forward knowing you are covered, supplied, and secure. Throughout the day, when tension rises or fear tries to whisper, stop for a moment. Take a breath and return to the truth. You can say quietly, peace, be still. And at once, the vibration shifts. Because peace obeys those who speak it. Say softly, peace goes before me. Peace surrounds me. Peace follows me. I am the vibration of divine calm. As evening comes, give thanks for every moment of protection that unfolded silently, the accidents avoided, the calm you kept, the gentle timing that worked in your favor. Nothing was coincidence. It was divine order in motion. Say with gratitude, thank you, Infinite Spirit, for guiding me today. Thank you for unseen help and constant grace. Thank you that I am always safe, always loved, always free. When you sleep, rest in that awareness. Your body sleeps, but your spirit stays awake in divine harmony. Even in dreams, love watches over you. You are never unguarded. You are never unprotected. You are wrapped in light from which you were created. And when a new day dawns, you rise again within that same light, renewed, restored, and ready to shine. For divine protection never takes a day off. It is not something you earn, it is something you remember. Say gently, I live in remembrance of who I am, a soul of light, a vessel of love, a being of infinite peace. When others worry, you remain calm. When others argue, you remain silent in strength. When others fear, you respond with faith. For you are not reacting to the world anymore. You are radiating heaven. You are now the calm in the chaos, the blessing in the crowd, the light in the room. And that light itself protects you. Because love always returns to its source, and you are that source made visible. Say softly, I am light. I am love. I am divine protection in motion. Nothing can disturb the peace of my soul. Now imagine your life covered in waves of golden light extending in every direction. Past, present, and future. Like sunlight through water. That is the power of divine consciousness surrounding you at all times. You are safe in it, you are supported by it, and you are sustained through it. Every prayer you've spoken, every affirmation you've repeated, has built an unbreakable wall of peace around your life. and this peace goes with you wherever you go, not just for today, but forever. Say one final time, I live in light, I walk in love, I move in peace. I am forever protected, forever guided, forever blessed. Under grace and in perfect divine order, it is done. And so it is, and so it continues. Not as words, but as the very vibration of your being. You are the light, and the light is always safe.
You are standing at a threshold. Behind you is the path of waiting, before you, the path of remembering, and you must choose. Right now, you cannot have a foot on both. The woman who waits hopes life will one day give her permission. She stands at the edge of her own becoming, a spectator to her own power, looking for a sign, a signal, a guarantee that her dreams are possible. She lives in a state of quiet negotiation with life, hoping that if she is good enough, patient enough, deserving enough, her turn will finally come. But the woman who remembers, she walks a different path. She understands that the universe does not lead, it responds. She knows that there is no power outside of her that is greater than the divine intelligence already breathing within her. She does not ask for permission. She gives life its instructions. This is not a fantasy. This is a faculty, a forgotten power that resides within you, waiting to be reclaimed. Florence Scovel Shinn, a woman whose voice of truth cuts through the noise of a century, was a master of this remembrance. Before the world whispered about manifestation, she spoke of it as a law, as dependable as gravity, as clear as mathematics. It's important to understand how radical this was. In a world that taught women to be small, to pray for rescue, she taught them to command their reality. She stood in the quiet and sometimes lonely, knowing that our inner world is the cause and our outer world is the effect. Period. This clarity was often mistaken for arrogance, this faith for fantasy. But she was simply offering a homecoming to a truth our souls already know. She did not teach this from a gilded tower of theory. She learned it in the holy fire of her own life. She knew loss. She knew rejection. She knew what it was to be silenced. And yet, from that very place of seeming defeat, she rose, not by fighting the world, but by realigning her own mind. She proved, with her own 2 feet on the ground, that your inner posture dictates your outer experience. So I will ask you, softly but directly, from what posture have you been living? Take a breath and feel it in your body. The posture of waiting feels like a contraction. The shoulders are rounded forward as if bracing for a blow. The breath is shallow, held high in the chest. There is an energy of apology in this posture, a feeling of, am I asking for too much? It is the posture of the one who hopes not to be noticed, lest her dreams be taken away. The posture of remembering is different. It is an expansion. The spine is long and straight. The breath is deep, rooted in the belly. The heart is open. It is not an aggressive stance, but one of quiet authority. It is the posture of a queen in her own domain who knows her worth is not up for debate. It is the posture of a woman who knows she is not a burden on the universe, but a beloved co-creator with it. From which posture have you been speaking, thinking, and creating? If you truly, deeply understood the power that resides in your own conscious speech, you would never again utter the words, I can't. You would never again describe your life with words of struggle. You would understand that to speak of the problem is to feed the problem. You would guard the gates of your mind as fiercely as you would guard the door to your home. You are not here to wish. You are not here to hope. You are here to remember. To remember that the dream living in your heart is not a random, selfish fantasy. It is a spiritual assignment. It is a divine breadcrumb, a message from the highest part of you, whispering, this is the next evolution of my expression on earth. I have chosen you as the vessel. Will you allow me to unfold through you? Your desire is not a distraction. It is your destiny calling. To deny it is to deny the very impulse of life that seeks to express itself more fully through you. Florence didn't teach people to chase after their desires. She taught them to command their reality through unwavering internal alignment. She knew a profound truth. The thing you desire already exists. It is fully formed in the invisible realm of spirit. Your only task is to prepare a space for it within yourself, to remove the inner blocks of doubt, fear, and unworthiness that tell you it isn't yours to have. Every single person you admire had to cross the exact same threshold you are standing at right now, the threshold between doubt and decision. Consider Sarah Blakely. Before she became a billionaire, she was selling fax machines. She had no formal business training, no powerful connections. By all external measures, the world was not giving her signs of success, but she wasn't looking to the world for signs. She was generating the sign from within. While her reality was fax machines, her inner world was already that of a successful founder. She had a vision, yes, but more than that, she had active faith. When she finally created her product, her deep, unwavering decision was, they are ready for this. This will serve them. That is not hope. That is spiritual law. She did not wait for life to validate her. She decided who she was, and life responded. When seasoned investors laughed, she did not absorb their doubt. She held her knowing. When stores turned her away, she did not see it as rejection. She saw it as divine redirection. That is not hope. That is spiritual law. This is the secret. Your subconscious mind, that deep, fertile feminine part of you, does not respond to proof. It responds to posture. It is the faithful, unquestioning servant of your conscious mind. Imagine it as a dark room where every thought negative you give it is developed into a perfect physical print. It doesn't judge the image, it only develops it. If you hand it images of lack, fear, and not enoughness, it will faithfully produce a life that reflects that. If you consistently hand it clear, vibrant images of wholeness, abundance, and love, it will work tirelessly to bring that reality into form. It cannot do otherwise. Your job is not to force the outcome, but to provide clear, consistent negatives. If you live like your vision is real, the world will follow your lead. But if you live like it's a distant wish, it will remain just beyond your grasp. Florence used to say that when you act as if, you are not pretending. You are preparing. You are rehearsing. You are sending a clear signal to the universe that you are ready. So what is stopping you? That old, familiar story? That insidious voice of doubt that whispers, "Who are you to ask for this?" That voice is not your truth. It is a program, and its reign is over. This is it, your turning point, the sacred, terrible, beautiful moment of choice. And the hesitation must end. Now, decide. Not a soft wish, a command. Decide your vision is fact. Decide your word is law. Decide the waiting is over. Because the moment you choose with this level of fire, life has no choice but to obey. That is not magic. It is your birthright. Once you have made this decision, your real work begins. The sacred work of alignment. You must now practice the identity you have claimed. First, you begin your day with the new posture. Before your feet hit the floor, you lie in the quiet and step into the feeling of the woman you have just decided to be. This is more than a mental exercise. It is a recalibration of your nervous system. You are training your body to feel safe in abundance, to feel at home in love. You feel that feeling, you breathe it into your cells, and you resolve to carry it with you. Second, you engage in the new dialogue. You begin to speak, both internally and externally, from the vision. Think of this as a vibrational diet. You are no longer consuming or producing thoughts of lack and limitation. When a bill arrives, instead of the old thought, you bless it and declare, "My supply is infinite. All my needs are met with a lavish, overflowing surplus." When you feel lonely, you place a hand on your heart and affirm, "I am a powerful magnet for my divinely appointed partner and friendships." You use your word as your wand, consciously and deliberately. Third, you practice the new embodiment. You take small, physical actions that align with the decision you have made. This is prayer in motion. It collapses the time between your decision and its manifestation because it proves your belief to yourself. If you desire a thriving business, you clear your desk. If you desire partnership, you make space in your closet. You romance and honor yourself. These are not silly games. These are powerful signals of preparation. You are telling the universe, I am not just asking, I am ready. The space is prepared. Do not be discouraged by the silence that may follow your command. When you plant a seed, you do not dig it up. You trust the process. Your new belief is a seed in the fertile soil of your subconscious. The initial stillness is a sign of deep, inner germination. The old reality may still linger for a time, like the echo of a bell after it has been struck. This is normal. The discomfort you may feel is the friction between your old energetic signature and the new one you are embodying. It is a sign of profound success. It means the old is dissolving. Your job is to hold the faith, to keep watering the seed with your focused attention. The old self will rise up to test you. It will scream for your attention. See these thoughts, thank them for trying to protect you, and gently, firmly return your focus to your new truth. You are not broken. You were never broken. You are simply remembering the language your soul has always spoken. Do not let this be another moment of passive inspiration. Let this be your moment of activation, a line drawn in the sand of your own soul. The world doesn't need to hear your decision, but your subconscious mind demands it. It is waiting for its new, clear instructions. So go to the comments now and make your declaration. Type the words that seal your new reality. I decide now. 2 words. That's all it takes to begin. 2 words to end the waiting forever. The dream is already here. The divine blueprint is already drawn. Will you finally give it a body to live in?
The most powerful manifestors don't talk about what they're creating. They don't announce their miracles before they arrive. They move in silence, and money, love, and opportunities follow them effortlessly. Florence Scovel Shinn said, "The invisible forces are working for you when you hold your peace. And that is why the spiritually wealthy keep certain things hidden. Not from fear, but from power." Today, I will reveal the 7 things the spiritually wealthy never share while manifesting. Because they know the moment they speak too soon, the energy begins to leak. Beloved, there is a reason why the spiritually wealthy do not announce what they are manifesting. It is not fear, it is wisdom. They understand a sacred truth, that every dream, before it blooms, must grow unseen. It must be nourished in silence, guarded by faith, and protected from the noise of the world. You see, every desire is a seed. When you plant a seed in the ground, you do not dig it up each day to show it to others. You do not rush the soil or expose it to the wind. You trust the process of darkness, of quiet, of unseen growth. And manifestation works the same way. When you speak of your dreams too soon, you invite the world's opinions into your soil. Are you sure? That's impossible. Every silent doubt from another heart becomes a shadow over your field. And a shadow can block your light if you let it. Florence Scovel Shinn said, "The invisible forces are working for you when you hold your peace." That means silence is not weakness. It is spiritual strategy. Because the moment you speak of your desire prematurely, you begin to hand it over to the collective vibration of others. And not everyone will protect what you are planting. The spiritually wealthy know this. That is why they don't announce. They don't explain. They don't prove. They simply become. They water their dreams with prayer, not conversation. They nurture their goals with gratitude, not gossip. They keep their manifestation sealed in faith, until heaven makes them visible. Beloved, I want you to hear this truth. Deeply, your desire is not a wish. It is a prophecy. When you receive an idea, a vision, an urge, a dream, it is not fantasy. It is divine communication. The idea is heaven's way of saying, this already exists in the spiritual realm. Now prepare for it. And your preparation is silence. Because silence says, I trust the unseen. You do not tell the world what God whispered to you in secret. You do not expose what the divine asked you to carry in faith. Because the moment you speak it to those who do not understand the law, you invite confusion to interpret your miracle. And confusion delays creation. The spiritually wealthy are not secretive out of pride. They are secretive out of alignment. They know that manifestation is not about impressing people. It is about obeying principles. They know that energy leaks through explanation. That faith shrinks under scrutiny. That power fades when handled by too many hands. So they guard their dreams as holy treasures. They keep their intentions between themselves and divine mind. They walk quietly with purpose. And the world, one day, sees the result and calls it steady success. But heaven calls it steady faith. Say softly now, my dreams are safe in silence. Again. My dreams are safe in silence. Every time you speak those words, you seal your energy. You become the guardian of your own prophecy. You stop needing approval and start radiating assurance. Because you no longer need the world to believe in what heaven already approved. Florence said, faith never argues or fights, it simply knows. So the next time you feel tempted to explain your plans, pause. Feel the strength in stillness. Remember that peace is proof of trust. And that your silence is a sanctuary where your miracles take shape. Beloved, every great creation in history began in silence. The artist paints before the world sees. The builder designs before the city rises. The universe itself was formed out of quiet intention before the first word. Let there be light. Creation begins in the unseen. It is born in the void, and the void is sacred. When you protect your desires, you protect your vibration. And when your vibration remains pure, manifestation happens effortlessly. You will not need to chase. You will not need to convince. Because your silence becomes magnetic. It says to the universe, I am ready, I am steady, I am sure, and heaven loves certainty. You see, the poor in spirit rush to share, because they crave validation. But the wealthy in spirit stay silent, because they crave manifestation. They understand that validation is temporary, but vibration is eternal. And when you choose vibration over validation, miracles become your normal. Say softly now, I am becoming quietly wealthy. Again, becoming quietly wealthy. Let those words echo within you. Because every moment you keep your desire sacred, its energy expands. Every time you choose silence over fear, your frequency rises. And soon, without announcement or noise, what you prayed for will appear. Naturally, gracefully, beautifully. The world will call it sudden. You will know it was silent. Florence would remind you, never violate the law of secrecy when creating in the invisible. So honor the silence. Protect the seed. Let your roots grow deep before showing your flower. For the spiritually wealthy know, what you protect multiplies, and what you expose too soon dissolves. So today, beloved, walk with calm certainty. Do not rush. Do not prove. Hold your desires close like sacred gems. Smile when people ask what you're working on and whisper inside, something heaven and I are creating together. Because it is not their understanding that grows your dream. It is your faith, your peace, your silence. Say softly now, as your decree, I trust the unseen. My dreams grow in silence. The universe remembers my intention, and it will bloom in perfect timing, under grace and in divine order. And so it is. Beloved, every truly wealthy soul understands this sacred truth. What you picture in your mind is a divine instruction to the universe. Your imagination is not fantasy. It is prophecy. And this is why the spiritually wealthy guard the details of their vision with reverence and silence. Florence Scovel Shinn said, man can only receive what he sees himself receiving. But she also warned, do not discuss your affairs with anyone, Because the moment you expose your inner image to minds that do not understand faith, you dilute its purity. The spiritually wealthy know that every mental picture is a seed of reality, and not all soil is fertile enough to protect it. Your vision is your spiritual architecture. Every image you hold is a design drafted in the invisible world. The walls, the windows, the foundation, they are built through your focus, through your emotion, through your belief. And until that house of creation is ready to appear in the physical, you must keep its blueprint safe from the winds of doubt. Beloved, when you tell someone your vision too soon, they might smile. But silently, they might question. They might not mean harm, but their vibration of disbelief touches your energy field. And because thought is magnetic, even the smallest doubt can tangle your signal. So the spiritually wealthy say little and imagine much. They speak less and create more. They know that manifestation is not a public event. It is a private ceremony. Their vision boards are not for display. They are for devotion. Their visualization time is not performance. It is partnership with infinite mind. When they close their eyes, they are entering heaven's design studio, crafting miracles line by line with emotion as ink and belief as blueprint. Florence said, "Impress the subconscious with perfect pictures of success." That word, impress, is sacred. It means to press upon, to mark deeply. So every image you hold impresses your subconscious mind. And your subconscious, being obedient to spiritual law, goes to work manifesting what it was shown. But if you allow conflicting opinions, fears, or comparisons to enter, the picture blurs. And a blurred image creates a delayed manifestation. Beloved, the rich in spirit understand clarity is wealth. They don't waste their mental cinema on fear. They don't replay scenes of loss or failure. They hold one image. Peaceful, prosperous, perfect. And they live inside it. They walk as though that image were already true. Because in divine mind, it is. Say softly now. I live inside the picture of my prosperity. Again. I live inside the picture of my prosperity. Every time you speak those words, your mind begins to merge with your vision. Your nervous system accepts abundance as familiar. Your heart relaxes into expectancy. And the universe, like a faithful servant, begins to arrange itself around your picture. You see, beloved, spiritually wealthy people do not share the details of their vision because they know energy must concentrate before it expands. If you keep adjusting or explaining, you scatter your focus. If you protect and trust, you intensify it. Creation happens through intensity of belief, not volume of words. Your picture does not need permission, it needs power. And power grows in privacy. So when you visualize, do it quietly. Feel it deeply. Picture yourself already there, not wishing but living. Smell the air of that new reality. Hear the sounds of peace. Feel the warmth of security. Let your senses participate in your miracle. That is how the spiritually wealthy pray. They don't beg. They broadcast. They don't ask. They align. They know that the mind that imagines wealth is already one with the wealth imagined. Florence said, "Man's word is his wand, filled with magic and power. But I tell you, beloved, his picture is his prophecy. When you hold an image long enough, it begins to breathe. It gains magnetism. It gathers substance. It becomes a living reality waiting for permission to appear. So don't expose it to noise. Protect your mental movie until it's ready for premiere. When people ask what you're manifesting, smile gently and say, 'Something wonderful is unfolding.' That answer protects your energy. It satisfies curiosity without surrendering your power. Say softly now, 'My vision is sacred. My focus is wealth.' Again, 'My vision is sacred. My focus is wealth.' You are now behaving like the spiritually rich, the ones who build realities through inner sight, not outer chatter. They are not louder than others. They are lighter. They live in quiet certainty, while the world shouts confusion. And that certainty is what makes them magnetic. Remember, beloved, your subconscious is like fertile ground. Whatever image you plant in it grows. Plant peace, and you harvest stability. Plant prosperity, and you harvest opportunity. Plant doubt, and weeds will rise. So keep your field clean. Keep your focus pure. Keep your faith private until the fruit appears. Because when you protect your picture, heaven paints the rest. The color, the timing, the form. All handled by divine design. Your only work is to see clearly and believe completely. Florence said, "The game of life is a game of boomerangs. Man's thoughts, deeds, and words return to him with astonishing accuracy. And your images, beloved, are those boomerangs. Send out only the ones you wish to receive. So close your eyes and whisper softly, 'I hold my vision in divine secrecy. My images are blessed. My pictures are pure. And what I see within, heaven reveals without, under grace, in perfect ways.' Then release the picture to infinite mind. No worry, no doubt, no need to tell anyone. Just peace. Because the spiritually wealthy know, what you see in silence today becomes what the world sees tomorrow. And so it is. Beloved, the spiritually wealthy understand that manifestation is not an event. It is a rhythm. It is not something they do once and forget. It is a way of living, breathing, and thinking. Their wealth, but not just on ideas, but on spiritual practices that keep their vibration clear, their faith steady, and their connection with divine mind open. But here's their secret: they do these things quietly. Florence Scovel Shinn said, "Prayer is telephoning to God, and intuition is God telephoning to you." The spiritually wealthy live by that law every single day. They make time to call the divine, not through loud rituals or public performance, but through silent alignment. Their daily practices are private conversations between their soul and infinite mind. They do not post their prayers. They do not boast about their discipline. Because they know that the moment the sacred becomes a show, the power begins to fade. Their morning begins not with noise, but with knowing. Before the world wakes up, they are already aligned. They rise in quiet gratitude. They whisper, "Thank you for this day. Thank you that supply flows freely. Thank you that I am guided, guarded, and grounded." And because gratitude is their first language, abundance becomes their natural response. Beloved, you will not find them scrolling through fear. The moment they open their eyes, you will find them listening to peace. Because they know the first few moments of the morning are the most magnetic. The subconscious is open. The veil between thought and creation is thin. And what they impress in that silence shapes the entire day. Florence said, "Man's word is his wand." So the spiritually wealthy begin their morning speaking life. They declare, "Everything I need comes to me easily and freely. I live under grace, and all that belongs to me by divine right appears now." They repeat until their heart believes it, because they know repetition is not begging, it is programming. Every word is a new command to the subconscious, and the subconscious never argues. It only obeys. Their prayer time is not about asking. It is about aligning. They don't say, "Please make it happen." They say, "Thank you that it already has." They live by faith that what exists in the invisible will soon appear in the visible, under grace, in perfect ways. They might meditate quietly, not as escape but as access. For meditation to them is not emptiness. It is conversation. It is the moment where divine instruction enters their awareness. Sometimes, they receive a nudge, an idea, a feeling, and they act on it without hesitation. They don't explain it. They don't debate it. They trust it. Because they know intuition is the divine's reply to their prayer. Beloved, their spiritual practice may look simple from the outside, but inwardly, it moves heaven. Because consistency builds vibration, and vibration builds reality. They don't wait for a crisis to pray. They pray daily, so when challenge arises, they are already strong. Their peace is their preparation. Say softly now, "My peace prepares my prosperity." Again, "My peace prepares my prosperity." Every day. The spiritually wealthy do something else the world often forgets. They protect their energy after their rituals. They don't step out of meditation and into chaos. They stay in a bubble of stillness, letting the vibration of prayer settle into the aura. Because right after spiritual practice, the aura is wide open, luminous, sensitive. It is like wet paint. It must not be touched by negativity. They guard that silence as sacred ground. They don't gossip, complain, or compare. They simply remain grateful. Florence said, "You must be careful of your moods and feelings, for there is always someone trying to enter your garden. That garden is your consciousness. And the spiritually wealthy do not let uninvited thoughts trample their flowers. They treat their inner state like holy soil. They keep it nourished, pure, and protected. Beloved, when they move for the day, they stay tuned. They walk like prayer in motion, calm, deliberate, graceful. Their peace itself becomes their practice. They give not out of pressure, but out of flow. They work not out of fear, but out of purpose. They rest not from exhaustion, but from completion. Their entire life becomes worship without words. And at night, before they sleep, they seal the day in gratitude. They review the good, not the worry. They bless the lessons, not the losses. They say softly, 'Thank you, Spirit, for everything I received and everything I released.' And then, as they drift into rest, they hand their consciousness back to divine mind, trusting it to organize tomorrow. Say softly now, 'My days begin with peace and end with praise.' Again, 'My days begin with peace and end with praise.' That rhythm, gratitude, alignment, protection, becomes their secret wealth frequency. They do not have to announce it, because their results announce themselves. You can feel their energy when they enter a room. Calm, confident, magnetic. They glow without showing. They prosper without performing, because they have turned their daily spiritual practice into daily wealth practice. Florence said, "Prayer is the key to heaven, but faith unlocks the door. And I tell you, beloved, consistency keeps it open. That is why the spiritually wealthy practice daily, silently, faithfully, not for ritual's sake, but for relationship's sake. They are in constant communication with divine mind, and that communication becomes their protection, their provision, their peace. So keep your daily practice sacred. Make it your secret temple, your private meeting place with infinite mind, because in that stillness, heaven rearranges your world. Say softly now, 'I meet the divine in silence. I am recharged in stillness. My daily peace produces my daily prosperity.' And as you speak these words, feel your heart relax, your breath deepen, and your energy stabilize. For you are learning what the spiritually wealthy already know, that the richest moments happen in quiet conversation with the divine. And that silence is your strongest prayer. Beautiful. Here is Keynote 40. Their inner doubts and battles, expanded into about 800 words in Florence Scovel Shinn's sacred, reassuring, and deeply introspective voice. Written in the perfect rhythm for emotional voiceover, blending spiritual truth with gentle authority. Beloved, even the most spiritually wealthy souls, the calm ones, the confident ones, the magnetic ones, have their moments of doubt. They too wake some mornings with a trembling thought that whispers, "What if it doesn't work this time?" But here lies their difference. They never invite doubt, it bless it, and transform it into power. Privately, quietly, faithfully. Florence Scovel Shinn said, "Every man is a golden link in the chain of my good. That includes the moments that challenge you, the thoughts that test you, and the doubts that try to shadow your faith. For the spiritually wealthy understand, doubt is not an enemy, it is a messenger. It appears only to reveal where faith must grow stronger. When fear enters their mind, they do not panic. They pause. They do not confess it to everyone, nor seek sympathy from those who would feed it. They bring it straight to the divine. They say, 'Spirit, this fear is not mine. I return it to the light.' And in that moment, they transmute what could have become poison into prayer. Beloved, they have learned that when you speak your fears to the wrong people, those fears multiply. But when you speak them only to God, they dissolve. Because human sympathy may comfort you, but divine truth transforms you. And transformation is the goal. You see, the spiritually wealthy guard their inner world like holy ground. They know every thought is a seed, and they will not allow weeds of fear to grow unchecked. When doubt rises, they do not feed it with more words. They starve it with silence. They replace it with declaration. They speak softly but firmly. I walk by faith, not by sight. And even if their voice shakes, their decision does not. They may feel uncertainty, but they choose belief. Because faith is not the absence of fear. It is the mastery of it. Florence said, fear must be erased from the consciousness before the divine order can come. So they work within. They do not fight doubt. They erase it through remembrance. They remind themselves of every miracle that has already come through faith. They recount each answered prayer, each divine provision, each moment grace showed up uninvited but right on time. They let memory build momentum. And that remembrance becomes the cure for anxiety. Say softly now, I remember every miracle, and I trust the next one. Again, I remember every miracle, and I trust the next one. This is how the spiritually wealthy win battles no one sees. They do not post their pain. They process it through presence. They do not announce their struggles. They surrender them in silence. Because they know that when you bring your weakness to the divine, heaven strengthens it. Their private moments of doubt become classrooms for deeper wisdom. They learn that fear is simply faith pointed in the wrong direction. So they turn it around. When fear says, what if it goes wrong? Faith says, what if it goes perfectly right? When fear says, you can't, faith says, God already did. And that reversal becomes their ritual. Beloved, you must understand. The world trains you to fear delay. But the spiritually wealthy have learned to trust divine timing. When manifestation seems slow, they do not curse the process. They bless the waiting. Because they know that delay is not denial. It is divine preparation. The universe is arranging the pieces they cannot yet see. And their only job is to stay in alignment, not agitation. Say softly now, every delay is divine preparation again. Every delay is divine preparation. Every time you repeat that, your spirit calms and your vibration steadies. And once you are calm, your miracle can find you. Florence said, faith never argues or fights. It simply knows. So when the spiritually wealthy feel fear creeping in, they stop arguing with it. They breathe. They affirm. They choose peace again. They might walk, pray, journal, or sit in silence until peace returns. Because they know, peace is not the reward. Peace is the path. And here lies their power. They never let temporary emotions dictate eternal truth. They may cry for a moment, but they don't camp in sorrow. They may question for an hour, but they end the day in gratitude. They may tremble in the dark, but they still whisper, let there be light. Beloved, this is how you win the inner battle. You do not need to be fearless, you need to be faithful. Because faith, even as small as a mustard seed, moves mountains when it's consistent. So the next time you feel worry stirring, don't broadcast it to the world. Close your eyes, go within, and declare softly, this thought is not mine, this fear is not truth. I am one with divine supply, and I am safe in divine order. The moment you say it, heaven takes over the situation. Fear fades, clarity returns, and your vibration resets to power. Because the spiritually wealthy know, inner victory always precedes outer success. They handle doubt in silence, so that faith can speak louder than ever. They walk through storms with calm faces, because their hearts are anchored in divine knowing. And though the world may never see their battles, it will surely witness their blessings. Florence said, every test is but a chance to prove the power of God. So they do not fear the test, they welcome it. They know that when they stay centered, miracles are born out of pressure. And what once felt like battle soon becomes breakthrough. Say softly now, every test strengthens my faith. Every fear reminds me of my power. Every doubt turns into divine direction. Again, slower with certainty, I am calm. I am centered. I am covered by grace. Beloved, from this day on, treat every doubt as a signal, not a setback. Let it point you back to peace. And remember, you never fight alone. For when you face fear with faith, heaven fights with you. That is how the spiritually wealthy conquer their inner battles. Not loudly, but faithfully. Not through resistance, but through remembrance. Not by proving, but by trusting. And when the battle is over, Their peace shines brighter than before. That peace becomes their wealth. That calm becomes their crown. And so it is. Beloved, every truly wealthy soul, in spirit and in life, lives by divine instruction. They do not move because of pressure. They move because of prompting. They do not act because the world demands it. They act because spirit whispers it. And when that whisper comes, they obey in silence. Florence Scovel Shinn said, "Intuition is God's way of speaking to a human mind." The spiritually wealthy have learned to recognize that voice. The still, small voice that comes in peace, not panic. It does not shout. It does not argue. It does not confuse. It simply knows. Beloved, this voice does not come to the busy mind. It visits the quiet one. That is why those who live by divine law make silence their daily sanctuary. For in the noise of the world, fear speaks loudly. But in the stillness of faith, divine mind gives instruction. The spiritually wealthy know that when the inner voice speaks, they must not rush to tell anyone. They do not need agreement from man, when heaven has already confirmed the plan. They act quietly, knowing that spiritual instruction is personal, not public. They understand that the more you talk about divine direction, the less you hear it. Because talking disperses energy, while silence concentrates it. Florence said, "Faith acts without asking why, and that is the rule they live by. When spirit nudges them, call this person, apply there, forgive that debt. They do not overthink. They do not delay. They obey, because they know that divine timing requires divine response. Heaven's instruction always carries a window of grace, and those who act within that window are met with miracles. Beloved, when you receive divine instruction, it may not make sense to logic. It rarely does. The mind measures, the spirit moves. Logic sees risk, faith sees revelation, and those who walk by faith see what logic never could. The spiritually wealthy do not ask, "How will this work?" They say, "I trust it already has." When you learn to follow that inner leading, doors open without effort. Opportunities appear that no human could have arranged. You find yourself at the right place, with the right people. In the right moment, not because you forced it, but because you flowed with it. That is the way of divine order. Say softly now, "I am guided. I am guarded. I am grounded in grace." Again, I am guided. I am guarded. I am grounded in grace. Every time you speak those words, your energy field stabilizes. You begin to feel that calm, quiet confidence that only faith brings. You no longer rush to make things happen. You allow them to unfold through obedience. Beloved, divine instruction often arrives as a feeling, not a sentence. It may come as peace about one choice and unease about another. The spiritually wealthy trust that signal. They understand that peace is direction. When something is meant for them, it carries no strain. When it is not, even opportunity feels heavy, and so they follow the lightness. Florence said, "Nothing stands between man and his highest good but fear." So when divine instruction feels strange, they do not resist it with fear. They remember that spirit sees what they cannot. That the steps may look uncertain, but the destination is already safe. They obey, not because they understand, but because they trust. The spiritually wealthy move differently. They don't chase. They're called. They don't guess. They're guided. They don't rush. They're ready. And the world often calls them lucky. But heaven calls them aligned. Beloved, you must learn this same rhythm. When the whisper comes, honor it. When the nudge repeats, follow it. You don't have to explain it to anyone. Divine instruction is not a group project. It is a covenant between you and infinite mind. Say softly now, "When spirits, I move in silence." Again, in "When spirit speaks, I move in silence." Because silence protects direction. The spiritually wealthy never expose their divine orders to those who have not heard them. They know that when others cannot hear what you hear, they will try to correct it. Not out of malice, but misunderstanding. And misunderstanding can muffle miracles. So they protect their hearing by protecting their words. Florence said, "Obedience to intuition is the key to success." And indeed, that is the foundation of spiritual wealth. Not hard work alone, but aligned work. Not effort alone, but instruction followed in faith. Beloved, there are times when the divine will ask you to release something before the new comes. To give before you receive. To walk before you see. In those moments, trust the invisible map. Because every divine instruction carries divine provision with it. Heaven will never send you on a journey without already preparing the road. The spiritually wealthy don't need the full plan. They move one faithful step at a time. And somehow every step reveals the next. It is like walking through that clears as you go. You don't see the destination, but you know you're not lost. That is the peace of obedience. Say softly, each step I take is divinely guided. Each choice I make is divinely ordered. Again slower, each step I take is divinely guided. Each choice I make is divinely ordered. When you live this way, beloved, you no longer fear mistakes. Because even your detours are divine design. Even your pauses are protection. Even your no's are preparation for a greater yes. So do not question the whisper. Do not rush to tell the world what heaven told you in private. Let your actions speak your obedience. And let the results reveal your relationship with divine mind. For that is what the spiritually wealthy do. They receive quietly. They act faithfully. And they prosper peacefully. Because obedience, beloved, is the highest form of trust. And those who trust the divine completely never lack anything. Say softly now as your decree. I follow divine instruction in peace. I walk in perfect order. I move under grace. And what I am called to do, I am fully supplied to do. Again, with conviction. I am led by spirit. And my obedience creates my abundance. And as you breathe those words, feel the stillness wrap around you like light. For you are now walking the way of the spiritually wealthy. The quiet ones who move when spirit moves, and manifest miracles without announcing them. And so it is. Beloved, when the spiritually wealthy finish their prayer, their decree, their affirmation, or their manifestation work, they do not rush back into noise. They do not step from heaven straight into chaos. They stay still. They remain quiet. They understand that what has just been spoken into the invisible must be sealed in peace, not scattered by hurry. Florence Scovel Shinn said, "Every time you make a statement of truth, you plant a seed in the invisible. And the spiritually wealthy know that once a seed is planted, the soil must not be disturbed. The moment after you pray is the most sacred moment of all. It is when the energy field opens. It is when heaven begins to move unseen. And if you guard that vibration, your miracle grows in silence. Beloved, this is why the rich in spirit treat their energy after prayer like holy ground. They do not complain after affirming. They do not worry after decreeing. They do not undo their manifestation by contradiction. They seal their vibration in faith and walk forward as though the work is already done. When they finish their morning decrees, they do not scroll through fear. They sit in quiet confidence. They hold their peace like a crown, because they know the law. The spoken word returns multiplied. If you speak truth and follow it with doubt, you create confusion. But if you speak truth and follow it with silence, you create power. Florence said, faith knows it has already received and acts accordingly. So after the spiritually wealthy speak their word, they act as though it is already theirs. They carry themselves like receivers, not beggars. They dress with confidence, they walk with ease, they speak gently. Because their outer life mirrors their inner belief. They know that the prayer is not over until the energy matches the declaration. Beloved, many people pray and then rush to worry. They affirm and then argue with the world. They decree abundance and then scroll through comparison. But that breaks the energy. The spiritually wealthy have learned a higher way. When they finish speaking, they release it to divine mind and remain in harmony. They trust that the law is already working, even if nothing appears to be changing. They know manifestation is like baking bread. Once it's in the oven, you don't keep opening the door to check. You trust the process. Because if you open the door too soon, you let the heat escape. So they protect their prayer heat, their spiritual fire, through calm detachment, Say softly now, I release and rest. Again, I release and rest. Every time you say those words, your spirit aligns with divine order. You let go of control, and you let God handle completion. Beloved, when you finish your spiritual work, whether it's a decree, a visualization, or an affirmation, imagine your aura as light, soft and golden, glowing around you. That light is sensitive. It carries the energy of your intention. It must be shielded from negativity, criticism, gossip, or fear. Because every thought you entertain immediately after prayer either strengthens your vibration or weakens it. That is why the spiritually wealthy do not engage with drama after divine work. They don't rush into phone calls, arguments, or distractions. They stay sacredly silent for a while, walking slowly, breathing deeply, smiling softly. They know that silence is the cement that seals their decree. Florence said, after man knows the truth, he cannot afford to be negative. Because negativity reopens what faith had already closed. So they protect their vibration like a newborn dream. They stay gentle with themselves and with others. They avoid explaining what they just prayed for, because divine energy is still organizing the details. Beloved, I tell you, right after prayer, the universe is listening most closely. It listens to see if you will contradict what you have just commanded. If you say, I am rich in divine supply, and then sigh, but it never happens for me, the universe takes the sigh, not the statement. But if you say, I am rich in divine supply, and then stay peaceful, heaven says, she knows. Bring it to her now. This is why the spiritually wealthy practice emotional discipline. Their peace after prayer is their proof of faith. They measure their belief not by words but by calm. Because peace means it's done. Say softly now, my peace is my proof. Again, my peace is my proof. After they pray, they may take a walk, drink water slowly, or listen to stillness. They may write gratitude for what has not yet appeared. They may simply whisper, thank you, thank you, thank you, until joy fills the room. Because that joy is the vibration of completion. Beloved, the aura after prayer is magnetic. It sends out waves of light that draw matching experiences back to you. But if you rush into fear, those waves become scattered. So remain soft, remain sure, remain silent for a while. Let the divine do its work. Florence said, all that belongs to you, by divine caught should come to you under grace, in perfect ways. So trust that once you have spoken your word, heaven has heard you. You do not need to repeat the prayer in panic. You need only live in gratitude. Say softly now, I have spoken my word, and heaven has heard me. I rest in the knowing that it is done. Again, slower and deeper. I rest in the knowing that it is done. And as you breathe, imagine your aura shining brighter, a field of faith, glowing gold around you, protecting your peace, magnetizing your good. This is the posture of spiritual wealth. The quiet after prayer is not empty. It is electric. It hums with divine creation. Beloved, when you finish your manifestation work, say, feel more. Do less, believe more. Because what you believe in silence will soon become what you hold in your hands. The spiritually wealthy live by this rhythm. They speak, they seal, they stay still. And that stillness becomes their secret strength. Because the universe responds to consistency, not noise. So from this moment on, protect your energy after prayer like gold. Bless your stillness. Trust your word. And remember, what you release in peace always returns in power. And so it is. Beloved, the spiritually wealthy never boast about their blessings before they bloom. And even when the miracle arrives, they do not shout, look what I did. They whisper, look what God has done through me. Because they know, true wealth speaks in silence. And miracles do not need marketing. Florence Scovel Shinn said, faith never boasts. It simply knows. The spiritually wealthy live by that law. They are not in competition with others. They are in communion with the divine. Their results are not announcements. They are confirmations that the law works. They do not flaunt manifestation. They demonstrate it. Their peace is proof. Their calm is evidence. Their abundance becomes the quiet testimony of divine order in motion. Beloved, The ones who truly walk with Spirit never need to convince anyone that the law of attraction is real. Their life becomes the sermon. Their aura becomes the advertisement. Their consistency becomes the teaching. You see, when you are genuinely aligned, your results do not make you loud. They make you luminous. Because every miracle that appears in your life is not to prove power, but to express love. It is the universe saying, I keep my promises. Florence said, there is no such thing as coincidence. Every blessing comes by law. So the spiritually wealthy don't call their success luck. They call it law fulfilled. They don't feel surprised when good arrives. They feel grateful. Because they knew it was already theirs in the invisible long before it appeared in the visible. When the world says, you're so lucky, they smile and say quietly, no, I'm so aligned. Beloved, when your manifestation appears, whether it's money, opportunity, or healing, you must learn to receive it with reverence. Not to show the world what you've gained, but to thank the divine for what has been completed. For every miracle you receive has a purpose beyond yourself. It's a reminder to others that faith works, that love provides, that obedience opens doors no man can shut. The spiritually wealthy share their stories not for attention, but for activation. When they speak of what has manifested, they do so with humility and grace. They say, this happened through divine timing. This came because I trusted the law. Their voice carries calm gratitude, not pride, because pride says, I made this happen, but gratitude says, God flowed through me. Florence said, there is a supply for every demand. So when their supply comes, the spiritually wealthy give thanks before they spend it. They bless every dollar, every client, every gift. They hold it in their hands and whisper, thank you for flowing through me. I bless you, and I release you to multiply under grace. And that gratitude multiplies what they have, because the law is simple. What you bless, blesses you back. Beloved, when your miracle arrives, guard it with the same grace you used to birth it. You don't need to explain how it came. You don't need to prove that you manifested it. You simply continue walking in gratitude, letting the vibration of peace grow stronger. Because miracles attract more miracles when the receiver stays humble. The spiritually wealthy understand something profound. What you celebrate in private continues to expand in public. When they receive abundance, they share silently with others in need. When they experience promotion, they remain generous, not grand. When their manifestations appear, they return to prayer, not to ask for more, but to say thank you for what already is. Say softly now, I am grateful before, during, and after my miracle. Again, I am grateful before, during, and after my miracle. Every time you speak that, you align your spirit with divine flow. You remove the ego from creation, leaving only grace, and grace, beloved, never runs out. Florence said, man can only lose what he no longer appreciates. That means the moment gratitude fades, supply weakens. But the moment gratitude returns, abundance renews. That is why the spiritually wealthy mate thankfulness their daily habit. Not when they get something, but even when they give something away. They bless the outgoing and the incoming equally. They know that both are proof of circulation, and circulation is life. When you start receiving miracles, beloved, stay anchored. Don't let people's curiosity pull you off your spiritual path. Many will ask, how did you do it? And you may feel tempted to explain every method. But the spiritually wealthy smile gently and say, through divine order. That answer says everything and nothing at once, protecting the sacred while inspiring faith. Beloved, remember this. When your miracle arrives, that is not the end of the story. It is the beginning of your next evolution. Every answered prayer carries a responsibility to live as a vessel of the divine, to use your blessing to bless others, to let your abundance heal, not boast, to let your peace teach, not preach. Say softly now, my miracle is my ministry. Again, my miracle is my ministry. Because every manifestation you receive becomes proof that spirit is real and faith works. You become a living scripture of grace, your life preaching without a word, Florence said, "Nothing stands between man and his highest good but fear. So when your miracle comes, don't fear losing it. Don't cling to it. Simply bless it, enjoy it, and keep circulating. Because you now know the law, what you bless multiplies, what you fear dissolves. The spiritually wealthy live in that rhythms. They create in silence. They receive in gratitude. They share in humility. And then, quietly, they begin again. Beloved, your miracles are on their way. You will not need to convince anyone when they arrive. They will see. They will feel. They will know. For the vibration of grace is undeniable. Say softly now as your final decree. My miracles reveal themselves in perfect timing. I receive in peace. I give in love. And I live under grace. In perfect ways. Then breathe deeply. And imagine your life surrounded by quiet proof. Every corner of your existence touched by divine order. Because that is what it means to live as the spiritually wealthy. You no longer chase validation. You walk in confirmation. And so it is. Beloved, now that you have listened, breathed, and believed, I want you to remember this truth. You were never meant to chase money. You were meant to call it. You were never meant to beg for blessings. You were meant to receive them. Calmly, confidently, completely. You are not here to prove your worth. You are here to remember your inheritance. For the universe is not testing you. It is teaching you. And Spirit is not withholding anything from you. It is waiting for you to align with what has been yours all along. Florence Scovel Shinn said, "Nothing can come to you unless it belongs to you by divine right. So hear me now, beloved. Everything that is truly yours cannot miss you. The house that carries your name, the wealth with your energy, the opportunities prepared for your hands. They are already on their way. You do not need to chase what already remembers you. You need only hold your peace, keep your faith, and walk as if it is done. Say softly now, no longer chase. I attract. Again, I no longer chase. I attract. Every time you say those words, your energy shifts from desperation to declaration. You stop reaching outward and start radiating inward. You stop begging for signs and start becoming the signal. You stop doubting your worth and start living your wealth. Beloved, your silence has power. Your faith has frequency. Your words have weight. And your energy, your calm, your certainty, your gratitude, is your magnet. You don't need to shout to be heard by heaven. You need only whisper with conviction. Because the universe does not respond to noise. It responds to knowing. So tonight, when you close your eyes, see yourself surrounded by golden light. Feel that light circling your aura, healing you, clearing you, magnetizing you. It is the light of divine supply. It knows where your blessings are. It knows what belongs to you. And as you rest, it is already guiding everything that has your name on it to find you. Quickly, peacefully, perfectly. Say softly, everything that belongs to me is finding me now, under grace, in perfect ways. Again, slower. Everything that belongs to me is finding me now, under grace, in perfect ways. A breathe. Feel that truth enter your soul. Because wealth is not waiting for you. It is remembering you. Money does not belong to the loud or the lucky. It belongs to the aligned. It belongs to the peaceful. It belongs to the faithful. Florence said, there is a perfect plan for your life, bigger, better, and more beautiful than you have ever dreamed. So if you are listening to these words now, you are already stepping into that plan. Your doubts are dissolving. Your frequency is rising. Your divine inheritance is awakening. You are not becoming wealthy. You are remembering you always were. Because Spirit has never seen you as poor, broken, or limited. It has only ever seen you as powerful, prosperous, and complete. Say it softly, with faith. I am powerful. I am prosperous. Again. I am powerful. I am prosperous. I am complete. Let those words echo through your being. Let them become your new rhythm. Because the moment you feel whole, everything incomplete rushes to join you. The moment you stop asking when, and start saying, now, heaven moves faster than time. Beloved, your season of struggle is over. Your era of alignment has begun. You have planted. You have believed. Now rest, because what you have spoken in faith will appear in form. And as Florence would say, it will come under grace in perfect ways. So lift your hands, open your heart, and whisper with me now, one final time. Divine Spirit, I am open. I am magnetic to miracles. All that belongs to me flows to me now, easily, freely, abundantly. I rest in faith. I walk in peace, and I receive in perfect timing under grace and in divine order. Now breathe deeply. Smile softly. You have just aligned with the frequency of wealth. And from this moment forward, everything you touch, think, and speak will rise to meet that vibration. Your aura is glowing, your faith is working, your miracle is unfolding, and so it is, forever and always.